They're always there.
So now, if we want a super chat now, we have to do it at Rumble.
I don't know what. Yeah.
A Rumble Rant. We can't get them over at Rav anymore.
Well, right now, Rav's YouTube isn't even running, so.
Oh, it's not. Okay, it's not me. I'm trying to get it. I'm checking here, like an idiot for the last few minutes.
What were you texting?
Okay, got it. Not running. Okay.
So.
It's running. Okay.
I don't get it.
No, it's not. Is that better?
No, it's still there.
Well, not running with the power cord off. No. It's not running with it at all.
Before anyone got here.
How do I find the chat on this thing? Do I have to be sideways to get the chat on this? This sucks.
Yep.
Chat live in the chat. Sorry about the technical issues. Working out some stuff.
How do I get the chat on
Howdy, everybody in the Twixt.
YouTube?
Howdy, Twixers. All right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Wednesday night. Also live on 103.9, Long Island News Radio, longislandnewsradio.com. Welcome back to the program. Damon is off tonight. He'll be back tomorrow night. And, of course, for the Friday night big show at the America First Warehouse. So make sure you join us for that. Lots of great stuff. Lots of great things always happen in there on a Friday night. So we encourage you, especially if you're in the area, visiting the area, come on by. It's a good time. Had by all. I guarantee it. Let's do some sports with Slick Rick. Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. You can go to mypillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout and save a ton of money on some great stuff, especially this time of year. Things are happening. You got kids going away to school. You got stuff coming up. They need stuff to go away with. Grab it now. Use our code LFS6B at checkout, and you'll save yourself a ton of money between now and then. So use it, abuse it. Slick Rick, what do you got for us?
Well, we got that U.S. Open right now in Flushing. Things are really heating up. Big upset just about 2 hours ago, too, in the women's tennis. Women's singles. Amanda Anisimova upsets Iga Swiatek to reach U.S. Open semis. This is an ESPN News report out of New York. Amanda Anisimova upset Iga Swiatek 6-4, 6-3 in the U.S. Open quarterfinals Wednesday, less than 2 months after losing to the six-time Grand Slam champion in the Wimbledon final by a 6-0 6-0 score. I mean, Swiatek is the real deal. The number 8 seeded Anisimova reached her third major semifinal and first at Flushing Meadows. To come back from Wimbledon like that is really special to me, said Anisimova, who was born in New Jersey and grew up in Florida. I feel like I worked so hard to try and turn around from that. Today is really special. The powerful strokes and poise she displayed in Arthur Ashe Stadium against number 2 Swiatek, the 2022 U.S. Open champion, was such a striking contrast to what happened at the All England Club in Center Court on July 12th when she basically got wiped off the court 6-0, 6-0, as I just reported. So very, kind of cool there. And then coming up tonight in the men's, you got world number 1 Yannick Sinner taking on Lorenzo Musetti. He's world number 10. All Italian match. So leave the gun,
Wow.
take the cannolis. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But that should be something. That's unbelievable. And I'll get to the story a little bit later. But world number 25 also defeated 8, which is unbelievable. Di Minor fell earlier tonight. So a lot happening there as we get down to the semifinals in men's and women's tennis. And very exciting there. But let's get to some Major League Baseball scores because it's heating up there as well now with the pennant races. We got the Dodgers right now trailing the Pirates 2-0 top of the 6th. Pirates really taking it to the Dodgers, who are a good team. And Blue Jays over the Reds 6-5. Reds are up 5-0 and blew a 5-0 lead in Cincinnati top of the 6th. Looks like their hopes are fading fast. Even with Mets losing to Detroit today, Kevin will be happy about that. 6-2. The Guardians 7-1 over the Red Sox bottom 5. Top 3rd Rays over the Mariners 8-0. No score Angels and Royals top 3rd. Bottom 3rd Cubs 1-0 over the Braves in Wrigley. In Minnesota, the Twins 2-1 over the White Sox top 3rd. Brewers 5-0 over the Phillies. Bottom of the 2nd. Brewers have pretty much clinched that NL Central for sure there. Athletics and Cards, no score, end of 2. Yankees, no score down in Texas, taking on the Houston Astros there. So, and we'll see. That's bottom of the 1st, so just underway. Finals from earlier today. Nationals 10-5 over the Marlins. As I reported, Tigers 6-2 over the Mets. Diamondbacks down the Rangers 2-0. Orioles over the Padres 7-5. Giants taking on the Rockies. That is an 8:40 first pitch. And poll says 78% of Americans don't care about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce engagement. 12% say marriage will last. Only 12% say the marriage will last. They didn't even get married yet. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. A poll of Americans finds that few care even a little about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's big engagement announcement. The Yahoo YouGov survey of 1,690 U.S. adults conducted at the end of August found that just a tiny 4% really care about the big announcement. An additional 18% said they cared a little about the news, Yahoo Entertainment reported. But most just didn't care. The poll found that 78% did not call at all about the coming nuptials. The poll seems to run contrary to the media hype over anything Taylor Swift does. If it isn't for Americans being unaware of the engagement, the poll revealed that 3/4 of respondents were aware of the engagement announcement. Accordingly, 54% said they had read or heard a lot about the news, and 23% said they had read a little about it in the media. Asked how long the marriage will last, just 12% say forever. So not looking good. And rumor has it from Roger Goodell, there's a report that she may be fixing to do the Super Bowl halftime, which would be pretty big. I appreciate her music. I'm not a fan follower. I mean, her music is decent.
Can we get some rock music for friggin' halftime?
It's been a while since we had the Stones play. Or,
well, I'm not talking about 80-year-old guys.
No, it's been a while since we had the Stones play. I think they were 70 at the time, which is still not that bad.
Like, there's got to be something better that we have on offer, right? Is there great music out there? There are great bands out there that really tear it up. Why are we bothering with Taylor Swift?
Because the NFL is a sellout.
My menopause kicks in when she sings.
She's definitely not going to be the one performing at the halftime show.
Ariana Grande and whatnot. Why are they putting like a Kate? What's her name? Kate something was doing it a few years ago.
You know why? Because the new slogan: the NFL is gay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Slogan. Aaron, you say she's not playing the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't think so. I know that she's been offered it a lot in the past, and I don't really think that's something she's interested in at this point. I feel like if she wasn't releasing any more music, maybe that's something she would consider, but she's still pretty actively releasing music as she has a new album coming out. So I don't think she's going to be the one to do the halftime show, at least for another 5 years.
Could be an odds maker, Aaron.
Could be.
Thank goodness.
Keep in mind, you have to pay to play at the Super Bowl. And she doesn't need any more publicity. She doesn't, she's already
certainly doesn't need.
A lot of the artists use that to debut and break a new record coming out or launch something else.
Resuscitate their dying career.
Right.
Yep.
So.
But just to shift gears, we got NFL action tomorrow night in Philadelphia. Game 1, the Dallas Cowboys sacrificial CeeDee Lambs are going into Philly to take Lincoln Field there. Just made that up. And we'll see what happens. Slick Rick will be, I'll probably be incarcerated or something in the corner here, being in a rubber room watching the game. I will be here in the studio, but how live, I don't know.
So what's the line on that game?
Big D's saying it was 9, which he's just pulling my chain.
I saw 8.5 today.
7.5 is the ESPN.
Aaron said she saw 8.5.
Well, that's what Aaron said. But Aaron's a Jet fan. What does she know about the Dallas
Whoa.
Cowboys?
Good point.
She's a Jet fan. She knows the Jets.
Unprovoked attack.
7.5 is the spread that I just saw on BetMGM. So we'll see what happens.
What's the total?
47 and a half less.
So what do you think? Do you think Dallas can hang with them?
No, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a 31-10 type of thing. Philly's too strong.
Yeah.
Barkley, and they've got a good team. Jalen Hurts. I mean, they lost a couple of good corners, right? They lost Darius Slay, but I think they're going to be. It's going to be a little too much. That place is going to be raucous. They're going to be unfurling their Super Bowl championship banner tomorrow night. The rings come out. Sometimes these ceremonies can get things a little off kilter, and I'm hoping the Reds forget the Reds. I hope the Cowboys can sneak in and maybe grab one on the road, but they're going to need a hell of a performance out of Dak Prescott, which often you don't get in the big spot.
All right, you have my first bet of the year. I'm going to come. I want to get back into it. I got the under in the first half of that game.
Okay.
Under 23 in the first half. I just
all right.
Up.
Yeah, a little feeling out process.
You mean like Philly's going to score under 23?
It don't matter. Here's a guess. It could be 20-2 with a safety for the Cowboys, and Paul's good. All right, so that's a wrap there in sports. Rick, back to you.
All right. Well, the Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com again. Use our code LFS6B at checkout, and you'll save yourself a ton of money. I want to get back to the Epstein thing. Before I do, let me read to you something that was posted a little bit earlier today from someone we find very interesting. I think we agree with her most times. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said this on Honor Getter feed. She said, "I'm not afraid to name names. Jeffrey Epstein's cabal of politicians, bureaucrats, and elites who turned a blind eye must be held accountable. This is the product of past administrations, Republican and Democrat, trying to silence victims. They deserve justice, and America deserves the truth." And again, that's from Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. And pay attention, because she figures in, believe it or not, to my theory of what this is all, how this is all coming about. So pay attention. I'll attempt to loop all this stuff together. We'll play some clips. I got Anna Paulina Luna. We've got, again, the attorney from 2009 talking about President Trump, and a whole lot more. Plus, of course, the guys with their thoughts on this as well. We'll do that all when we come back. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Wednesday night. Stay there.
You don't remember Murder by Death with Peter Sellers?
I remember Peter Sellers, but not
Peter Falk. Some other guy named Peter. No, it was
one of those.
It was like a whodunit where they brought everyone.
It was like Clue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Murder by Death was a fun movie.
Yeah.
Use your gosh darn prepositions. I really liked Peter Sellers. I thought he was talented.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
I love that movie Being. I got to tell you, I miss my YouTube chat. This stinks.
Yeah.
I know.
This stinks. It really stinks.
What's that?
But they play commercials during the break. I don't know. That's what they usually do, right? Oh. That's what it was last night.
But I don't get it, because I'm not sure that's fair to D. He busted his butt building that channel. It doesn't, he put his heart and soul into that. I don't know. It doesn't seem right. I don't know. Am I on air? Okay. Oops. Yep. Oopsie.
Paul practicing his First Amendment.
Pardon me.
I practiced the Second Amendment with the guns and cannoli comment, right? We're doing a good job tonight.
Rumblers. Kate Evans with a message to the Rumblers. 2 weeks tumor free. So congratulations, Kate Evans. That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's beautiful news. That's a drink to that one. No, this is not Bud Light. It's a blueberry nectarine. Actually, I was dry my whole birthday, which is unusual for me.
Look at Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
no
Let me
kidding.
repost
I know
it.
Kevin would be disappointed
This is
in me.
the
I didn't even have
Hugh thing.
one drink today.
Let me see.
That's unacceptable.
I know, it's terrible.
Yay.
I think I'm going to crack open that honey bourbon tonight when I get home. That's what I'll do before the night's over. That bottle that Damon bought me, he bought us all bottles that day. That was
Yeah, that
nice.
bottle that Damon, whatever, Mark gave us, I had left it in my, in my liquor cabinet, and my kids had a gigantic, my daughter and all her sorority sisters have a party at my house every summer, and a bunch of 25-year-old girls all were doing shots. Like 30 girls there, and they were like, "This is delicious." I'm like, I wouldn't know.
Oh,
I didn't get to taste it.
they
but
killed
that's
your
fine.
bottle.
Right, too sweet.
You got to find that again.
Patrick, Owen Ahern, Farmer Brook, Jet Noise,
Farmer Brook!
Freedom,
How are you getting
love
the
Farmer
live
Brook.
version
Farmer
of the
Brook.
chat? I had it, and now it's gone.
Racing Banshee,
Farmer
Rebecca
Brook.
B. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Wednesday night. Welcome back to the program. If you're listening in your car or on your computer, you can also check out linewsradio.com or 103.9 on your car radio. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us on a Wednesday night. Damon again is off. He'll be back tomorrow night, taking us through Thursday and Friday as well. Kevin Downey Jr., though, is sitting in with us tonight, so we appreciate that. Paul Nolan, of course, is here. Slick Rick will do some more sports in just a bit. But who wants to continue on with the Epstein stuff? Because I feel like we started something, and Paul, you mentioned you're hearing a lot about people saying it's a conspiracy. They're saying it looks too much like a feel good time rally instead of a bunch of survivors
I don't know.
speaking out.
My first reaction is it's just people want the truth out. I do think there's so many things to consider, though. As Katie G said, people could easily be compromised. People will do anything for money. People are desperate, so there's definitely an option. But obviously, sleuths and good reporters will be able to dig that up. I think. I don't think it's that easy to get a payoff to just talk dirt about someone. But as he said, it's like the wrap-up smear. Right, it's
right.
like urine in the pool. It's another great analogy. The best you can do is dilute it. That's like Tolstoy.
It beats a floating baby Ruth, I'll tell you that.
So that's a really good point. But I want to know I want to know he was a master money launderer. How come we don't know where the money he laundered went, and the relationship he had with Barr and Barr's father, and the relationship he had with Bibi Netanyahu and the head of Mossad and the people who's connected to it, MI6, and all the relationships he had with Robert Maxwell and Robert Maxwell's relationships all the way through the whole pedo scheme, all through London and the Bank of London, how the Bank of London completely owns us still, and the Federal Reserve. There's so many the web is so deep.
Yeah.
And disgusting.
Yeah, and according to Democrat Ron Wyden, he made a claim that the Treasury is in possession of a money trail of about $1.5 billion connected to Epstein. Now, again, he made this. He said this back in July, I believe. He's a senator out of Oregon, Democrat, made the claim that Republicans faced down a petition that would force a vote to release the findings of an investigation into the late sex offender. The Treasury's Epstein file details, get this, 4,725 wire transfers, adding up to nearly $1.5 billion, flowing in and out of Mr. Epstein, just one of Mr. Epstein's bank accounts. That's just one.
Just one.
Right. And he said, they actually have been doing a bipartisan look at this, started a couple of years ago. But of course, it was the Biden administration. They're going to shut all this stuff down. They don't want this stuff coming out just yet. They're in charge. So, of course, they made sure that none of this saw the light of day. And then, of course, you have these survivors. Again, this all kicked off. Remember when this kicked off during the summer? Pam Bondi. Terrible. Horrible in front of a microphone. Notice they don't put her out front anymore because she stinks at it. made the gaffe of saying the Epstein thing. There's nothing there. There's no there.
Well, the worst one was the dossier as to all the influencers.
Right.
What was that pony show about?
That part too kind of ruined her credibility on this. And ever since she's been kind of silenced from going in front of the microphone unless somebody's there to hold her hand.
Yep.
But moving forward on that stuff, you notice it kind of triggered when Trump said, "I don't know why we're still talking about this. This is 5 years old." Like I said, back when he said that and we played that clip, I was thinking, that doesn't sound right. I feel like he's doing this on purpose. I feel like this is kind of a setup. And what happened? We saw the media run with it. The left-wing media went crazy. They're like, "Oh, he's trying to silence it. He must be on the list," right? And we all know the same conclusion. If he was on that list and Biden's administration and all those wacko Obama Democrats had access to that intelligence, it'd come out.
Yeah.
It'd come out a long time ago.
And now they're using the defense. Well, it's mutual destruction because, the list comes out, but there is no list. My mother used to play the numbers with a bookie at a car factory in Detroit. He remembered everything. And my mom said, "How come you don't write it down?" Because he goes, "A list means I go to prison. I got to remember it." And they just love this. They love this. Now, there is no mutual destruction. There obviously was no list. We were misled on that. But someone can comprise a list. I don't think anyone's done that yet.
Right.
And now the survivors are saying, we might comprise one, but we might not share it. Okay, that's another little twist to that story.
I didn't hear that part.
Oh, yeah.
That they wouldn't share it.
Yeah. They said we might just keep it amongst ourselves. We don't know if we're going to make it public.
That's really been my contention. If I was in charge, if I was Trump and I got a hold of all forget calling it the list, the evidence, let's start calling it the evidence because the list makes it sound trite.
Right.
Like there's this, little Rubik's Cube has been unlocked and everything just comes out of Pandora's box. But if I had that information, that's pure power. And if I wanted to run a parallel banking system, if I wanted to take on the globalists, if I wanted to take on the people who've been involved in all kinds of evil machinations within big pharma, big oil, the war machine, all these people who've been compromised, held, and pinned down and forced to play ball, so to speak, I'm not giving that thing up. No way. No way. I'm using that for my political leverage. That's exactly what I would do with it. And I don't think for a second Trump, with his ego and his legacy to protect, he would say this list is nothing. Why are we talking about this if he didn't have a plan down the road? Right. I can't imagine he would leave himself so open to such scrutiny to say something to the effect of, I'm on the pedo list, because now, that's almost like an admission. I think he comes out and he just, it's going to be a bunch of, remember Gallagher where he would smash the watermelon?
Yeah.
He's going to smash heads like Gallagher, smashing watermelons, and it's going to be, all of it's going to tie in together somewhere along the way. I just can't see how it won't.
And that's where I was headed with my theory. I
take mine back.
With Trump kind of standing back, so to speak, making that statement, I don't know why we're still talking about this, blah, 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 the guy is dead, we should be talking about all the great stuff. That's a great way to say, here, somebody else, you guys take it, I'm going to focus over here, you guys can do my dirty work. Mm-hmm. In other words, turning it over to the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world.
Yeah.
The Tim Burchetts of the world, who last week emphasized a paper trail allegedly leading back to Washington, D.C., implicating that there will be lots of retirements, a wave of early retirements coming. I don't know what he's alluding to. Maybe he knows stuff that we don't know. But check this out. This is from Representative Anna Paulina Luna, cut number 2. Here's what she had to say after coming out of a meeting with some of the survivors earlier. And listen to some of the things she says about Epstein here. Cut number 2. Check this out.
Bigger than I think anyone anticipated. We are obviously going to be requesting the SARS reports from Treasury and also following up on that. There's some very rich and powerful people that need to go to jail. I think everyone's been frustrated as to why that hasn't happened before. But it is very much so a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset working for our adversaries. But also, I think the questions that we have is how much did our own government know about it?
Yeah, that's a huge question.
Yeah,
because
how about all of it?
Yeah.
And remember what Tim Burchett said months ago when someone was complaining that the rhinos never vote the way we want them to. He said, when your Republican doesn't vote the way that you think he or she should, they have pictures of them doing something with someone they shouldn't be with.
Yeah.
Or they maybe it's a married man with another man. They have something on them. They took the envelope, whatever it is. And I think we're going to see some of Epstein's friends are still running around. If they're not in politics anymore, then they're probably working as, what would you go from there? I guess.
Yeah, Mayor.
You know, wait a minute. What do? They all go to a certain industry after they're done with politics.
TV
defense?
news.
What's that?
TV news.
Defense, pharmaceuticals.
It's a lot of times it's defense, but lobbyists. A lot of them become lobbyists.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And that's where you're going to find something.
Yeah, you never see the rotating door between Monsanto and the FDA. Monsanto, you'll see them rolling from Monsanto right to big military, industrial,
or agriculture companies, right?
Yeah,
that
agriculture,
have influence, right? Exactly.
And they all roll from one board to the next, and they lobby for them. And this is the problem with the CIA and statecraft. This is the problem with global, politics. The United States CIA was started in, I think, 1948.
Right after World War II. Yeah.
It starts as a way to kind of have these soft, covert underground wars. Like our the first thing the CIA did was they stopped Italy from becoming a communist country.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Russia was fully backing them, and then next we got Greta Garbo films, and we've got Italian Mussolini, and now we're celebrating all of Italy's great things. And what do? They control that, and so that's fine. But they knew going in that they were creating an evil, demented apparatus that could easily run amok. So when you live in a state of statecraft or nation building, and it's all done through duplicity, and you have to lie to the world, well, then you got to lie internally. And when you're continuously lying internally, it's going to trickle down to the distrust of the American people. And after JFK died, was murdered, what happened to the American people? Stopped believing in America as much.
Oh, yeah.
One of the major reasons why the moon landing was such an important way to bring nationalism back, to beat Russia at something.
But you talk about statecraft and the CIA, and you hear Anna Paulina Luna mention it, that he was an intelligence asset. That's what they're learning.
Without a doubt.
So we're seeing that. But we're also, of course, trying to see, watching the left deep state media try to turn this, it's got to be Trump, but Trump. We have to focus this on Trump. So what do? Here is cut number 6. It's a quick one. NBC reporter asking some of the survivors and people involved what they thought. Cut number 6, it's got to be Trump.
I do have to ask, and I know, and it's just something that I think we're compelled to at this moment, with the attention on President Trump, with these questions around a pardon. Did anybody see or hear of the president himself doing anything inappropriate as it related to Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Nope.
And it followed up
Nothing,
that clip. I saw a different clip later where it was longer, where they all said no. They were like, no, it wasn't involved.
He's the only one who actually helped law enforcement.
Right.
Through an open investigation, and he fully, he did everything in his power to help, and which is also upsetting people, right? Because now he's saying it doesn't mean anything,
right?
But I think he's doing it for a reason.
Yeah, and speaking of that, cut number 12. Here's Attorney Bradley Edwards talking about Trump and his help. Check it out.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them. He is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009.
Yeah. And again, that's the video Democrats do not want you to see.
Wow, that's a
why?
Great clip.
You know why.
Great clip.
This is their next Lucy with the football. We got him this time. Remember the nuclear secrets in Mar-a-Lago? He's going to sell them to Saudi Arabia.
And I tell you, I think he's pulling the strings on this. All right, we'll tie it up when we get back. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. We'll do some sports, too, with Slick. Stay there.
I'm not paying sports as much. Are the Reds just fading?
Yeah, they're fading. Yeah, well, thanks to the Reds, the Mets are coming out of it. Yeah, they're playing good. They're going to Mets. They need to. Yes.
You're starting to sound like Slick.
You've been hanging out with me too long. Well, that's true. Frank the Tank is looking for you. He wants to sit in the box with you and watch a game. You have 5-0 at home. You're blowing. You give 8 unanswered runs. I mean, that's unconscionable.
Who did that?
Cincinnati. Terrible.
Hey,
They had a chance to pick a game up. They got a 3-game series against the Mets. Probably won't even mean anything by Friday. Crazy.
You know, in the 70s, I know you're a big fan. I don't know who the best one was back in the days of Dave Concepcion, Johnny Bench, Pete Rose. That was just such a killer team.
Oh, the Big Red Machine? Sure.
Oh, I mean...
the best player was Rose. I mean,
would think Pete
he had the
Rose,
most hits, and, he embodied the team. But Morgan was phenomenal. Won back-to-back MVPs in 75 and 76. Bench, incredible. Hit over 500 against the Yankees when they swept the Yankees in 1976.
Wow.
That was fantastic. It was one of the highlights of my life. And one of the last highlights of my baseball life.
I'm glad that you have to go back to 1976 to enjoy that.
George Foster was an incredible player, right? 52 homers in 78, right? 77, 78, 78. And he was incredible. But, yeah. Big Red Machine, Kevin. You could pick anybody you want.
Yeah.
About 6 players on there. The 76 All-Star game, there was like 6 Reds in the infield. Boy, the Reds would have won tonight. Could have went 4 behind. No, we have to lose.
Chat live in the chat. We're going to tie up the Epstein stuff. I'll finish up my theory.
That's you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Sneasley Bruin.
Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Wednesday night. Thank you for joining us. And, we're talking about the Epstein stuff, the release of the big tranche of files last night. Then, of course, the survivors speaking today up on Capitol Hill, meeting with some of the representatives in Washington. Representative Nancy Mace, I don't know if you saw the video of her walking away. She was visibly in tears. After the 2-hour meeting with Epstein's accusers, attended by Oversight Chairman James Comer as well as Speaker Mike Johnson, and she's a survivor of rape, so I guess that easily explains why she's reacting, because she's hearing stories probably similar to what she went through.
Which I think is also disgusting.
Yes.
You saw some of the left media making fun of her unprofessionalism because she was aghast at the horrifying stories, these poor women, these most unthinkable, horrifying things these women went through.
Yeah. And again, Paul, you've alluded to it. My theory is I feel like Trump has been in control of this Epstein thing the entire time. I really do. And I know that sounds crazy. It sounds nuts. Oh, but he's trying to distance himself. He's telling. But you notice he kind of stepped away. and you guys do it. It's almost like he's handing the team the ball, saying, look, I'm sitting out this play. You guys can lead this one. Right?
That's what it seems like to me.
Who does he have? He's got Marjorie Taylor Greene talking today. She puts out that statement. What's interesting is when we see President Trump lately in these press gaggles, there's also somebody that he seems to love to take questions from. That is a friend of the show.
Oh yeah.
One Brian Glenn. Now, what's the connection there? Well, he has access to the president. The president loves taking his questions. He often says, that's a great question. This guy is great. He
introduces him to world leaders.
Questions. Yes.
What network are you
And
with?
he also mentioned that he's also involved with one Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, and again, this is a theory. I'm throwing it out there. But if he was upset with this Epstein stuff and Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there making statements and pushing on it, he wouldn't be as nice, I think, to anybody connected to Marjorie, because he'd be like, she's messing with me. I'm not happy with you guys. But he's not doing that, is he?
No.
It's almost like he's elevating certain people in his own way.
Well, and he has had a bit of a war with Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's one of the few people who doesn't have an AIPAC sponsor. Her and Massey and only a handful of people. Everyone else is controlled fully by AIPAC, and he's mad at her about that sort of thing. So for him to prop her up now tells me something that one thing, Trump never holds a grudge, and I don't.
No, he doesn't.
Is he? But is he really mad at her, or is it just for show?
That's exactly where I see where you're going with this. Like, it's almost as if he shows, hey man, I'm not I'm not just all on my team. I can knock my guys down a little bit and then take them back, so to speak. So right. I see where you're going with it. I never thought of it like that, but I see where you're going.
Now, Kevin, what do you think of my lunacy?
I got to be honest with you. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying not to play the role of Damon here.
I believe that Trump has nothing to do with Epstein. This is just the latest. We got him now. The latest Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football. Oh man, look at it. He took the wheel of the beast. Oh, we got him now. And nothing ever happens. Nothing at all. This is the latest one. I am on your side. Remember, Trump is the guy that brought Bill Clinton victims to a debate. He's cunning. To Hillary's debate. Yeah, to the debate with Hillary. I'm on your side. I think he's letting the left really hang themselves on this one.
Yeah.
Now, remember that CNN clip we just saw? The woman goes, I have to ask because there's so much attention on Trump. Right. Well, who put it there? Well, he sort of did when that was without a doubt, I'm not just going to say an error because I think he might have done it on purpose now. But the left just pounced and said, we got him this time. They're the ones who are giving this wheels.
Right.
They're the reason that every wacko leftoid I know is on Facebook going, we got him now. He's pedo. We got him.
Right.
Someone called me a pedo supporter because I was wearing my Trump hat yesterday.
What?
Yeah. I was in a parking lot outside Trader Joe's.
Really?
Sorry, don't mean to brag. But
I've never heard that. Wow.
Yeah, I eat the best. And some guy, you pedo supporter. And I go, what? And I didn't catch it. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Were you talking to me? You effing pedo supporter. And I went, wait, you voted for the guy who showered with his daughter, right? It's in her diary.
Yeah, he's not going to win that debate
that's
with
your
Kevin.
boy, huh?
And
Come on.
You know what? To Kevin's point, you make the point about him bringing those people those women to the debate with Hillary. He's done other stuff like that, and there's MTG speaking in front of people, holding up those kinds of signs today, and people going, "Oh my goodness, how could she?" Is it all just part of the show, and you're just watching it because where's my popcorn? Right?
It could be. I don't know if you saw, but recently there's been a huge break in an email server where they've uncovered over 100,000 emails between the Israeli Prime Minister, I forgot his name before, Ehud Barak's emails, and they had so much private. Discussions about business dealing, arms deals. There had been a great deal of communication on high-end deals. And one of the things they learned within that was Epstein and Ehud Barak were also investigating and trying to get create dirt on Hillary Clinton. So the way this web works, everybody's trying to get dirt on everybody, and the reason being is, nobody's really friends. They all smile and shake each other's hands like pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But when the camera's off, they're all trying to stip each other as hard as they can. So,
and like you said, Paul, that is their currency, right? Leverage,
trying
to get leverage over the other person.
Blackmail, baby.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's kind of my theory. That's how I kind of lump this all together with the MTG and the Brian Glenn and into the Trump orbit, because this is how this stuff moves forward. And Paul, you're right. He kind of fed them the red meat, and they took it.
Yeah.
They took it and they ran, and now they're like, now this stuff is starting to come out. It'll be interesting to see.
It's so funny. None of them cared about the Epstein list until they thought that if they thought he was on it, and now they're clamoring for it.
Right.
They're begging for it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait till everything. I really hope everything opens up and unfolds the way we think it will.
Any predictions? No, we're not going to go there.
Prediction.
You know what?
Time frame.
Like you just said, I really do hope we start to see some of these scumbags start to pay. Because, again, you cannot have all these victims and have nobody pay a price for committing these crimes.
The most unspeakable, horrible, horrifying crimes against young women and children. It's just, the evil is just, there's no words to describe it.
No.
Right. Yeah. So that kind of puts a little bow on that. Anything else on this, Kevin? I see you.
Where are the parents of these 14-year-old girls who were flown off the continent? How does that happen? I mean, I grew up in Detroit. I couldn't go around the block without telling my mom.
Right.
I might not come back.
Parents paid off, possibly.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think that happens more than people realize.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain of it, too. I'm with you on that.
Ka-ching. Terrible.
Yeah, I mean.
That is terrible. Talk about unconscionable. That's even worse.
Yeah, when you hear about the parents being
child.
Well, we've heard about wacky wacky's the wrong word. Disgusting stories
demented,
of people
satanic
offering their kids on like a Craigslist or something to go be with an adult, and they get paid for it, and there was a story I think a couple of years ago.
The two men who adopted the boys, and they pimped them out.
Oh, it was sick. Yeah.
That and a mom who flew her daughter different states to be with. So those scumbags are out there, and you have the other scumbags that these poor survivors are having to still deal with. Hopefully, we'll see some justice. I think that's the ultimate. End goal here is justice in this situation. All right. We'll put a bow on that. We got a ton of stuff to get to. I know Paul's got some stuff. I know KDJ will do that next. We'll also do some sports with Slick. That's the end of hour number 1. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there. We'll be back. No flipping. All right, chat, live in the chat. America's loves the Marjorie Taylor Greene. Happy she's standing up for these ladies.
Yeah, she's great. I like her.
Kitty92 agrees with you,
She's a real
Paulie.
patriot.
Trump doesn't hold grudges. At least he doesn't show it.
No, I don't think he does. You really think about it? I don't think he really does.
EPS 133 says, thanks, Rick.
to.
Now we all know that Brian and Marjorie are dating. They've actually talked about that. Trump has mentioned that. We played the clip too. So he said it in public. It's not that big of a what do you call it?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's not a secret. MAGA Patriot 63 MTG is like Tim Burchett. Oh, I'm on the Rumble. LCT for BES05. Happy birthday, Slick Rick.
Thank you.
She thinks you're a very handsome man.
Oh, thank you very much.
Ooh, keep on shining.
Thank you. God bless.
Or he. I'm not sure.
Either way, it's a nice comment. We'll take it.
Ratchet says KDJ is the smart one tonight.
Whoa. No one's ever accused me of that.
Wow, the joke's on us tonight. Literally.
Jethro TXK said Trump, he knows exactly what's going on. I think so. I really do.
I just don't think he would leave himself so open to such scrutiny. To give them all that red meat. Why would he serve himself up? I mean, he's barely admitting he screwed up on Warp Speed, and he's got them dead to rights on that.
Actually, he came out yesterday.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't actually say, I blew it. He was a little bit...
Well, he was lied to. And I think
there's strength and vulnerability, right? There's strength in me saying, hey, man, I screwed up. Sorry, my bad. I had people like Birx and Fauci lying their face off to me and everyone. Yeah, but here's the thing about that. We have a real discussion about that. He was damned if he didn't, damned if he didn't.
Right.
If he would have said, you guys can't take this, we don't know what's in it, be careful, and people died, they would have blamed him. That's on him.
Right.
He had no choice but to go with the relentless full onslaught of press that was fully coordinated for years in advance. They knew exactly what they were doing. He was screwed on that.
Hey, Rav family and War Room Posse, mark your calendar. September 12th and 13th, the Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws Tour is coming to the America First Warehouse.
I have never seen anything like this.
2 unforgettable days filled with patriots, barbecue, and live shows straight from the most amazing place, the America First Warehouse. Get ready for a special guest to be announced, plus a 3-hour live episode of Studio 6B.
And we're just going to go do it.
On the 12th, Steve Bannon will host War Room Live at 5 p.m. And Steve will be back again on the 13th. Woo! Followed by 1 hour with Peter Navarro.
I went to prison so you won't have to.
The Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws Tour. September 12th and 13th at the America First Warehouse. Tickets go on sale Wednesday at midnight. And if you come, you'll get a special gift. See you there.
When I'm not bartending, I'm watching live from Studio 6B, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m.
All right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Wednesday night. Thank you for joining us. Paul Nolan is here. He's got some stuff we're going to get to. He's got some discussionary material that he wants to dive into. We'll be diving into that in just a little bit. Kevin Downey Jr. here as well from the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, his comedy career, his writing, his stylings on pjmedia.com. What's the headline of your newest...
It's while they're breeding, we're bleeding.
Yes.
Islam's plan to conquer the planet.
Well, I have some clips to go with that.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
And when you talk about that, there are some numbers that came out of Europe that are really striking.
You going to start with that story?
No. We're not going to start it now because we got to do some sports. But I'm just saying, I saw some of the clips on that. It's a scary situation if you're a European right now. You might want to pack your bags. Anyhow, Slick Rick is here. Let's do some sports to kick off hour number 2. Slick Rick Sports, brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Slick, what do you got for us?
All right, let's go to the rodeo. Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association, the PRCA. We're down in the Lewiston Roundup at Lewiston. Ready, Rick? In the great state of Idaho.
Iowa.
Oh,
Idaho.
I love Idaho too.
Oh, Idaho.
Get your potatoes. Let's go, baby. Here we go. Lewiston, Idaho. September. It's going right through the 6th here. And first round, steer wrestling leader Mason Couch. 4 seconds flat. Harry, get off Mason's couch. Team roping leaders Caleb Driggers and Junior Noguera. 4.4 seconds. Tie-down roping, Riley Mason Webb, 7.4 seconds. Oh, he's a good one. Barrel racing, Katie Halbert, 17.15 tenths. A good time right there. And steer roping in the second round, Riley O'Rourke, coming in at 10.7 seconds. So we have no bull riding in that yet, but we'll keep you updated on that. I will be running that rodeo right through Friday night as we get to recover the PRCA. We love that. Season's heating up. And here's an interesting story. Talk about timing, right? We got football starting tomorrow night, and world's largest illegal sports streaming site shut down the day before the NFL season starts. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. The world's largest illegal sports gambling and broadcast pirate website has been shuttered after officials in Egypt raided the enterprise and made arrests. Egypt, of all places. The Athletic's Adam Leventhal reported that the illegal site called Stream East was shut down on charges of piracy. Leventhal added that an international coalition called the Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment, known as ACE, pressured the Egyptian government to take action against the website. ACE, made up of companies including Amazon, Apple TV, Netflix, and Paramount, worked with the Egyptian government to track the gambling site. Stream East reportedly had an average of 136 million monthly visitors who also had domains in the U.S., Canada, the UK, Germany, and the Philippines. ACE scored a resounding victory in its fight to detect, deter, and dismantle criminal perpetrators of digital piracy by taking down the largest illegal sports platform anywhere. Charles Rivkin, chairman of ACE and chairman and CEO of the Motion Picture Association, said in a press release, "With this landmark action, we have put more points on the board for sports leagues, entertainment companies, and fans worldwide, and our global alliance will stay on the field as long as it takes to identify and target the biggest piracy rings across the globe," Rivkin said. Along with the two men arrested, authorities seized laptops, cell phones, and other equipment associated with the gambling site. Cash and credit cards were also confiscated, and officials said the site was linked to a shell company, of all things, out of the United Arab Emirates. The company reportedly laundered $6.2 million since 2010 and earned $15,000. Boy, I thought they were coming up with a lot more coin than that. No $6.2 million. But anyway, in 2024, NBA star LeBron James caught flack for using Streamies to watch the Minnesota Timberwolves and Dallas Mavericks. Along with gambling, the site also pirated sports broadcasters, included pay-per-view boxing events, MMA fights, F1, European soccer, and most U.S. sporting events. So another takedown. I tell you don't mess around with licensing when it comes to these sports organizations. And it's a good job they did there, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's a wrap in sports for me, Rick, in this segment. Back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Slick. And again, Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com. Use our code at checkout. Paul Nolan is here. Paul, what has been at your craw?
Well, I think, we were talking about the 14-year-old girl who got abused by a muzzy, and, she got in trouble for trying to defend herself. And I'm kind of sick and tired of, seeing the invasion of Europe, which is also the invasion of Canada, which is also the invasion of New York. And we're going to see Kami Mandami be, propped up by these the same exact Muslim billionaires who have propped up, scammers like, Talib and Uma and all these lowlifes who have been completely, money has been funneled through the George Soros Foundation, through Open Society, billions of dollars to pump these people up, the way they bring so many Sudanese nationals to one place. This way they pump migrants into one spot. Mm-hmm. They get their migrant on the ticket. Then they get that migrant on the ticket to win. Then that person wins. And when they win, they run cover for they get their little low-level BS sweetheart deals on the ground. But meanwhile, the erosion of America gets to happen, for the globalists who want to see our traditions, our country fall, because they know once they get through the United States Constitution and the free will of our people, they know they have a better chance at a global government. And I'm watching the people of London starting to fight back. You're seeing children going to school, all of them. Tommy Robinson, you can see it on my X page. He wrote, "The kids are going to be all right," a Who reference. Oh, yeah. All the kids, hundreds of them wearing their British flag hats. And we're seeing everywhere throughout London, cops or bobbies or whatever are busting the kids' balls for wearing flags or waving flags of nationalism. Nationalism is not racism. Nationalism is not far right. Nationalism is your pride in your nation and your forefathers and what they had built. Do not let them gaslight you. Right. It's BS. You don't have to put up with it anymore. The word racist is now gone. They've overplayed their hand, and we don't care anymore.
Good.
So I did want to show clip 11 just like to build on that, if you don't mind. Aaron, could you hook me up with that, please?
Look at this rooms, motherfuckers. We ain't going anywhere. Political structures that I have to work in, that we all are surrounded by, was built on slavery and genocide and rape and oppression.
False.
Real change doesn't come from the cowards and warmongers in Congress. It comes from the streets. It comes from all of us mobilizing and seizing the power to resist and fight back. Gaza is the compass in this country. Now we're in Congress, and we're every corner of the United States.
Yeah, so, pretty scary when you think about it.
Scary. And that was a 3-minute clip of torture. Aaron, great job cutting it down to 39 seconds, getting the bullet points of that filthy animal and the way she behaves towards this beautiful country. And if we don't pay attention now, if we don't get a hold of this now, watch what Keir Starmer had to say in England today.
You see Muslims making a difference, helping to deliver every single one of the government's missions. In business, helping to grow our economy. In education, giving our young people the opportunities that they deserve. In our NHS, of course. In charity work. British Muslims are amongst the most generous group in the United Kingdom and beyond.
They're rapists.
Yeah, the problem is this, right?
A lot of them.
They're right, 2% are extremists. That's what their numbers are. I think it might be higher than that, but if there's 20, I'm with you. But let's just say it's 2%. There's how many? 2 billion Muslims on the planet? What's 2% of 2 billion? I don't have my abacus, so I don't know.
That's a lot. How about that?
It's crazy. Like, it's just crazy that these people recruit, and they have just such hatred, for women and for our Western culture. They just can't mix.
And what's amazing is that the women and people in the West fully jump on board and support them. They don't understand what's going on. I was watching. I forget. I think it was a Joe Rogan episode. I caught a clip of. I don't know who he was speaking to, but they were talking about the population. We see what's going on in Europe. They were talking about the population in Europe, and that you need 2.1 children for every woman to sustain your current population.
Right.
Europe is underneath that. Some are 1.9, some are 1.5. I think Germany's 1.3. Spain is like 1.1.
Oh, yeah.
They are being overridden because when you compare that to the number of births from the immigrant population, the Muslim population, it's like 8.
Yeah.
Some of them are 6, depending on the country. But you're talking about huge numbers, and they will be replaced by their stupid policies of letting all these people in.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they tell us in America the last 20 years before I go to UK, if you're a patriotic American, you'll have 2 or less children. That was they ran that ad campaign for almost 20 years telling you, we're overpopulating.
Right.
Yep. Overpopulated. Don't have kids. Have fewer kids. Have abortions. That's the way to do it. And now they're saying, man, no one's making enough babies. We better bring in our replacements. This is a long-term, just demonic plan.
Diabolical.
Diabolical. And so that article I told you I wrote, if you check that out, folks, I've got videos of a Muslim in Denmark saying, we have 5 to 7 kids, you have 1 or 2. We're going to own Denmark in 50 years, and we're going to exterminate all of you people. He says it there. There's a woman in Belgium says, hey, white people, get out of Belgium. It's ours now. And Rashida Tlaib, she's an animal. All right. We are less than 25 years from 9/11, and not even counting the roughly 1,000 Americans killed on American soil since then by jihadi daddies and whatnot. But how did we allow this to happen? Paul, you hit it on the head. They told us if we say anything about the people who are here to kill and rape us, well, that makes us all biggity, so you can't talk about it. And I still have friends in the left say, you can't talk about black on black crime. That's racist. Can't talk about the Muslim rape epidemic, the murder epidemic in Africa and in Western Europe. You can't talk about it because that would make you bad. Otherwise, in other words, shut up and go to your extermination.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where that's how they silence you.
That's how they control your thought.
Right. Luckily for us, we don't adhere to that.
No.
Not here, anyway.
Thank you,
We're going to
Sig.
talk about it.
Not tonight.
And we're going to talk about it some more. And we're going to talk about it some more. And there's nothing they can do to stop us. So take that.
2% is 40 million, Paulie.
40 million.
So, Patriot Michael just sent it in.
40 million terrorists are out there. Awesome.
Wow.
Sounds like fun. All right, we'll take a quick break. We come
Possibly
back.
go wrong.
We'll do some with Kevin Downey Jr., see what's on his radar. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay down.
Let's double down a little, but let's just be fair. 40 million, right? And now half of men. Let's call it 20 million. Now let's call it between the age of 14 and 55, right? So let's cut it in half again. There's only 10 million extremists.
There's only 10
That's
million.
all.
They only need 10 million vests. How about that?
It really is crazy watching Europe just succumb to this.
Yeah, I remember the guy saying, you know what, they're at 1.7, gone.
Yeah, the number one name in England again this year
is
Muhammad.
And he was saying all these countries are now on the verge of being gone. There's no recovery. They wouldn't be able to have enough kids to offset what has happened to them.
It's a cultural takeover.
Yes.
I mean, I posted on my X page. By the way, it's Paul_eggs on X, Paul_eggs, and I just posted something to the effect of and people chimed in. If you are not American born, you really can't be in Congress or the Senate or any real government position.
You know what? I'm good with that.
Someone added, and a judge. I thought that might have been extreme, and then I was like,
I agree with you, Paul. I am good with that, too. I'll co-sign that. You're right. You should be born on U.S. soil.
You should love this country.
Yeah,
you should be. I mean, that's why the Christian.
We'd get destroyed making that comment, though. Because how can you say that? Meanwhile, it's what it should be.
Well, so that's the one thing why I'm a little softer on the immigration from Central America, because 95% of them, are Christians. So if we could just, try to figure out a way to get them all registered Republicans and. Teach them civics and the Constitution and the language for a 6-month or 1-year program. Here we'll fast track you, but you got to be a Republican for the next 20 years. Democrats will have them out in a heartbeat. I wish they had the YouTube chat. I'd love to ask the question. One, do you feel like
Well, ask the question. We have all the other chats. Ask the question,
It
Paul.
feels like a holy war where it's legitimately boiling down to, Christianity versus, Islam.
It's good versus evil.
And let's be honest, the Islam has been forever tied to the in modern history, tied to the Communist Party.
Sounds like the blues. If you're not feeling well, don't worry. I might have the answer for you. The new administration in D.C. has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there's only so much the government can do. And if you really want to make yourself and make America healthy again, it starts at home with you and each and every one of you. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear the Wellness Company doctors all the time on this show and on the network, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. So what are you going to do? Well, you should reach out to them. The Wellness Company gives you an opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue, which I just started taking, blue tongue, to weight loss and so much more, that it can help keep you healthy and you and your family help them live a happier and healthier life, as well as more satisfying. Make America healthy again, and it starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health/voice today and order what you need. That's twc.health/voice. Use the promo code VOICE. You'll save 10% on your order. Again, make America healthy again. It begins at home with you, and that starts by you going to twc.health/voice. Go there today and order. Kevin Downey Jr., you might know him from the radio show, the Kevin Downey Jr. radio show. Is that the name of it, the Kevin Downey Jr. radio? Why, yes, it is.
It's the Kevin Downey Jr. show.
Yes, and it's on 103.9 LI News Radio. You can hear him tomorrow morning as well. He is sitting in tonight. KDJ, what's going on in your world? What else you got for us?
Well, I've been looking into this group called the Angle of Nine Orders, or something like that, or the Order of Nine Angles. Have you heard about these clowns?
Is that a Harry Potter book?
Almost. It does come from the UK. It's actually what the FBI would call a satanic pedophile cult that started in the late 60s, early 70s. And what they do is they target kids online. There's a gaming system. I know nothing about it. It's called Roblox or Roblox.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Roblox.
Yeah. Okay, they're going after kids on there. And I thought, why have I heard this before? And I had covered a story where a woman caught her 9-year-old sending naked pictures of himself to what he thought was a kid on Roblox. And it turns out it might be one of these animals. And wouldn't you know it, look at this. They get these naked pictures of the kids. They say, all right, we're going to show this to the world unless you go, shoot up a school. What do you think about that? And kids, now keep in mind who they're going for. They're going for the malcontents. They're going for the weirdos and the creeps and all those people, all those young kids. And what do you know? Look at this. They focus on trans people. They focus on trans people who are nihilistic and obsessed with mass shooters, mass shooter ideation. I think, and these animals have been around for a long time, they hate Jews. Look at the neo-Nazi organization that wants to destroy Western civilization. So we've got a bunch of pedos who want to destroy Western civilization. They hate Jews. Sounds a lot like the Democratic Party to me.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if these animals aren't like the recruiting arm. I'm wondering if these aren't globalists who... Right now, this is the final fight, folks, at least for our lives. This is someone wins and someone loses really big in the next 3.5 years. And I think these animals have got kids going out to shoot up schools. There's no way. All right, remember the Audrey Hale chick from Nashville? Mm-hmm. And 29 minutes from her house, there was another one this past, I think, January, who got caught trying to shoot up a school. They're everywhere. There was a transgender shooting, almost a shooting, 13-year-old transgender dudette. They stopped him, but this is a school in Wisconsin. They didn't tell anybody. They didn't tell the parents. So you've not only got people recruiting them, in my opinion, you've got schools and police departments helping them. Remember that manifesto from Nashville? The cops never released that. Louder with Crowder got a hold of it.
Yeah, right? That's true.
You're right. Yeah. So the FBI can put out all the warnings they want, but when you're helping mass shooters who happen to be trans, you're part of the problem, as we like to say in our little Facebook wars. And I'm going to keep an eye on these guys. If I disappear, I'm completely non-suicidal, as I like to say. Yeah, they're satanic pedophiles, accelerationists. I had to look that up. That means someone who wants to accelerate the collapse of society, i.e. Western civilization. And they're urging people to go kill others or kill yourself and videotape it so they can watch it.
Yeah, it's insane. Did you see that? I think it's the state of Washington is doing something with kindergarten kids now. Now they're going to, allow kindergarten kids to make their own determination on gender.
Ugh.
A kindergarten kid who doesn't know what the word gender, can't spell the word gender because they don't know how to spell yet, but they're going to allow them to make their own decision on gender. Talk about mind effing a kid. That's the only way to describe that, right? Yeah. Because they don't know. They're going to school. They're innocent. Their parents are sending them off like, hey, this is great. Sometimes they got to fight with them. Get on the bus. Don't worry. It's going to be great. You're going to have fun. You're going to love your teacher. You're going to learn to do stuff. You're going to play. You're going to make friends, right? And what are they getting back now?
Yeah, they have a whole...
They're getting back broken kids.
There's a whole program going on right now that was exposed through the USAID scam that the only newspapers that they want these schools to use is the Washington Post and the New York Slimes, 2 CIA-operated assets. Mm-hmm. And that's what they want. The only thing the teachers could reference as part of the controlled disinformation program or something along those lines. I'll look it up in the break, but it's insanity that's their way of saying that you're only allowed to use our mouthpieces for your stories in your classes.
Yeah, it's insanity. And again, that's another way for them to try to control everything. And here it is, outrage erupting because Washington State kindergartners are being taught a gender jamboree lesson, letting them choose their gender and identify at least 3 gender identities. They're told some people are boys, girls, some people can be both, and some people can be neither. This is from the Washington State kindergarten, curriculum. The state is allowing this. Teaching kindergartners that they can be non-binary. They can't spell it. They don't know what it means. But they're going to have, their kindergarten teacher can point out, oh, you must be non-binary. That's how you're going to live.
Yep. This is nothing but recruitment, folks. Recruitment of your kids and grandkids. Now is the time not to sit down, but to really stand up. I really think this is the last battle for quite a while. And I'll tell you this, they're pushing these kids into the LGBT FBI crew so they can get a nice big M on there someday. It stands for MAP, minor attracted person. You can't call them pedophiles. That's going to become illegal soon. You're going to see it in Britain first. Remember, there's a group raping its way across Britain, going after very small girls too. And let's not forget, in Afghanistan, I wrote about this a while ago. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this. Bakabazi. That's where a man buys a young boy, makes him dress up and dance like a girl before he rapes the little boy. And this is completely acceptable in Afghanistan. Hey, isn't that weird? That's like the trans Bob's here. It's almost like they're prepping us for something.
Yeah, exactly.
And as much as they want to say, oh, we're against, we're Islam, we're against gay people, and they are, but they will jump on a little boy if they get a chance in a lot of places. And I heard that from someone who was from Gaza, who said if you get out into the smaller little towns, every 10-year-old boy learns really fast to avoid the middle-aged men.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, during the Afghanistan war, a lot of U.S. soldiers were trying to work with some Afghani leaders who are on the side of America, and they were getting popped off because American soldiers were disgusted by watching these little boys chained to chained to beds and locked in small quarters.
Yeah, just insane. Washington State's education superintendent Chris Reichendahl claims it's only quite simply inaccurate to say that biologically they're only boys and girls, according to him. And Washington schools will continue to allow boys to invade girls' private spaces. He looks like a pedo as well. I'm not sure if he is, but it's my opinion. He kind of looks like someone who might be interested. I don't know. Look him up yourself. You make that decision. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do more live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, on a Wednesday night. See you there.
And those who feel victimized by society. Malcontent.
And basically they're trying to and it's funny because aren't they doesn't the left try to victimize everybody from society? Somebody's always to blame for what's wrong with your life.
It's always a straight white man. That would be us. Oh, and you know what else? So this guy in Minneapolis, they're finding clues that he was part of this Order of the Nine Angles.
Really?
Because they speak in that Cyrillic language, and he had that all over the place. They have certain symbols. He had those all over the place. They think that they really got to this kid and pushed him. And I heard the reason he shot through the windows was because someone locked the door. He couldn't get in. He barricaded one and went around to the other. Remember what he said? What a vile animal. He says, I can't wait to stand over those helpless little kids.
Yeah.
Where's your God now?
Where's your God now? You know, I read some stuff about how MK Ultra has better effects after people who have been vaccinated. Some of the things that they're starting to show connections in cadavers, that the pineal gland has been shrunk. And obviously, most people should know what the pineal gland is in the brain. And, I would like to get some more data on that. So if you're on my X and you have anything, feel free to send me articles if you want on it. It's definitely interesting, the experiment that we saw take place across the entire globe.
All right, thank you. XX is huge tonight. We got a lot of people in the X.
So is there a live chat ripping the way it did on YouTube? Because I can't find the chat. All I can do is just make, like I see on the comments.
YouTube? Yeah, there's a chat.
No, not the YouTube.
Show them how to do it. You want me to?
YouTube.
So, like, I'm on it live, but it only says 57 comments. But that can't be, because earlier I was on it, and there was just a million. It was just booking.
The Vixter 101. Love the show, guys. Thank you, the Vixter. That's in the Rumble chats.
I think I got
the Rumbles. Not the YouTubes, the Rumbles.
All right, 2.5 over on the YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. I mean, on the X.
On the
it seems like so many of the YouTubers came over here, which is nice.
Frederick Willetters. Make no apology. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Wednesday night. Paul Nolan is here. We'll get back to him in just a little bit, as well as Kevin Downey Jr. More news with him. Slick Rick has got sports coming up, and it also his birthday. Sergeant Arby in the Rumble chat, Slick, says,
Sergeant Arby, thank you, pal. Thank you. A lot of great birthday wishes, and I want to thank all the great chatters that we have and all the different platforms. Thank you. Love you guys.
And happy birthday to Sergeant Arby's son, who turns 13 on Friday. So there you go.
Nice.
Very close to the same birthday as the Slick Man.
Pretty
there.
Cool.
Right now, welcoming to the show, she's been on before from Tax Network USA. Let's welcome back one Cameron Kinsey. Cameron, welcome back to the program. How are you tonight?
I'm doing really well. How are you all? Thanks for having me.
Doing well, and thank you for taking time to join us. Now, you've talked to us before. We've talked about some of the things regarding Tax Network USA, but tell everybody a little bit about Tax Network USA and what they do in case they're seeing you for the first time.
Yeah, of course. Well, again, thank you so much for having me. It's good to be with you. I think everybody knows at this point the IRS has unlimited resources. We've seen an insane amount of government overreach in the past 4 years with the Biden administration. Good thing it's actually gotten better under President Trump. But their job is to collect. It's not to be fair. And most Americans really don't know their rights. They don't know how to push back properly against the IRS. But a professional team like Tax Network USA does. We have a team of CPAs. We have licensed attorneys. We even have, former IRS agents who really know the tax code inside and out, and they know how to help the average American, like the individuals watching tonight. And we negotiate directly with the IRS. You're not having to deal with them yourself. We know that this is a stressful process, and we also don't want to add any other financial burden to you at all, or emotional burden. So we understand how to protect people from the aggressive enforcement that we've seen in the past, but we just need the person approaching us to be proactive about it.
Yeah, no doubt, especially when it comes to dealing with the IRS and Tax Network USA. I guess you guys, you know how people hire a lawyer to be the bad guy? I guess you'd be the bad guy, right? It's like, I don't want to deal with the IRS. I don't want them mad at me. Let them be mad at Tax Network USA. What types of tax services and relief services does Tax Network USA offer?
Yes, well, you're exactly right. I mean, dealing with the IRS alone is like going into a courtroom without a lawyer. So when the IRS starts coming after you, we don't just play defense, we go on offense. So whether it's wage garnishment, mounting back taxes, or a lien on your home, our job is to push back and protect your hard-earned money and what you've worked for. And obviously the filing deadline has passed, but the penalties haven't. That's why I say it's really important to be proactive about this, because they do compound daily. And the truth is the IRS really does count on people who aren't proactive, who are maybe too afraid or too confused on how to act. And that's really why it's important to have professionals in your corner. And that's really where we step in. We've helped thousands of Americans find relief, and we can do the same for the people watching tonight. You just have to make that first call.
Right. Now what happens when people do make that first call, Cameron? Do you have to give up a lot of information? I mean, tell us how the process starts so people know going in what they have to look forward to.
Right. Well, it's a very simple and easy process. Again, we don't try to make this harder for you emotionally or financially. You can call 1-800-905-8000. You can go to tnusa.com/RAV. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. You really just get a team who knows how to keep the IRS off your back, keep your finances protected in this process. Again, it's very seamless. You'll just kind of go over, what you're dealing with. And if you're having any financial burden with this as well, we have payment plans available. Again, we're just here to help.
Right. And not only do you help individuals, but are businesses and even small business owners, are they people that Tax Network USA can help out as well?
Absolutely. Tax Network USA offers various services to small businesses, like offers in compromise, installment agreements, penalty abatements, innocent spouse relief if necessary. These services, I should say, protect individuals by negotiating, directly with the IRS to settle debts for far less than the original amount that you may owe as well. So we do leverage every single legal tool available just to ensure our clients, aren't unfairly targeted in this process, aren't overwhelmed by IRS actions either.
Yeah, and again, it's like having the bad guy, right? You're the heavy. You're the one that walks in there with the brass knuckles saying, you're not going to beat up my client. We're going to take you on and we're going to protect them. And again, it's from the people at Tax Network USA. Cameron Kinsey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you want to reach out to Tax Network USA, what's the best way for them to do it? Is it to them to go online?
Yes, they can go online at tnusa.com/RAV, and they'll just have to fill out a quick form, or you can call us directly at 1-800-905-8000. Again, that's 1-800-905-8000, and you'll talk to a team member directly, and the consultation is completely free.
Yeah, and you guys jump into action, and you stop the annoying letters and the harassment, and that's all with the benefit of using the people at Tax Network USA. Cameron Kinsey, thank you again for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Good to see you.
All right, you too. Have a great night. And again, if you need them, reach out to them, Tax Network USA. That's via the website, tnusa.com/RAV. Take advantage of that, or give them a call directly as well. Paul, what do you want to say?
I'll just say tax is theft. So if you can beat them, go. I like that phone number, 800-905-8000.
Yeah.
That's a good phone number. I'm remembering it because I'm going to be honest with you.
We're not going to ask personal questions, Paul.
Remember those days?
Let's go to another network.
All right. I
think that kid is bright. That's a bright young lady. She seems trustworthy.
Yeah, so give them a shout. Again, Tax Network USA. Slick Rick has got some sports. Let's do a quick hit of the scoreboard and what else is coming up, Slick. Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Slick, what do you got?
More big news out of Flushing. U.S. Open. Naomi Osaka beats Carolina move over, mooch over, and returns to the U.S. Open semifinals. Unbelievable. ESPN News Services, Naomi Osaka kept her resurgent run at the U.S. Open, eliminating number 11, Karolina Muchova, 6-7, 7-6 on Wednesday night to return to the semifinals at Flushing Meadows for the first time since winning the title 5 years ago. The 23rd seeded Osaka improved to 5-0 in major quarterfinals, all on hard court, keeping alive a trend that has been seen her win the title every time she has reached the last 8 at a slam, which I mentioned last night. It means so much. I'm actually surprised I'm not crying, Osaka said in her on-court interview. It's been so much hard work that you guys haven't seen. I'm just grateful to my team and happy to be healthy. So just amazing. Osaka seeded at a major for the first time since giving her birth to daughter Shai in July of 2023, has been playing her best tennis since she rejoined the tour following a 17-month maternity leave, and she beat number 3 seed Coco Gauff in straight sets in the round of 16 just the other night. So amazing work there. So Naomi Osaka, obviously a big name in the tennis world. So what an upset.
Yeah,
there.
can I just mention a local name?
Yeah,
to the tennis world. One Jack Kennedy from Long Island.
14
he plays in the juniors, and he's doing well. He played singles today at 11 a.m. I don't know how that worked out. And he also played doubles match as well on the grandstand court. So he's been doing well at the U.S. Open as well. One of Long Island's own juniors. Very highly ranked.
Amazing. Yeah. The kid's really a talent.
Yeah.
And also with the number 2, Iga Swiatek now being eliminated by Anisimova earlier this evening, that kind of paves the way. Osaka could be a real story developing here. Speaking of stories, let's get to Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays right now are beating the Reds 12-9, top of the 9th. The Reds had a 5-0 lead to start the game. And you know what it is with the Reds? Their pitching aces' true value will be stocking shelves in a hardware store. You see what I just did there?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the Reds' ace pitching staff there. And the Guardians 8-1 over the Red Sox, bottom 9th. Mariners trail the Rays 9-4 down in Tampa, top of the 8th there. Bottom 7, good one. Angels and Royals tied at 3. Braves over the Cubs 5-1, top of the 8th. Cubs are still alive and kicking there as well. Twins 3-1 over the White Sox, bottom of the 7th. Brewers continue their domination in the National League by beating the Phillies 6-3 in the top of the 7th there. Cardinals blanking the A's 3-0, end of 7. Yankees up over the Astros 3-1, end of 5. Yankees cementing also their playoff run here, trying to get position for a playoff, and we'll see what happens with the Yankees. They're playing good at the right time.
They got healthy at the right time.
They
had a lot of players injured.
Yeah, they no question about it, Rick. They really did get healthy at the right time, and they're looking good, looking like they're going to do something there. And we got the NBA All-Star Game to have 2 USA teams and 1 World team for their All-Star Game. This is Shams Charania of the ESPN. The format for the 2026 NBA All-Star Game is likely to be a round-robin tournament consisting of 3 8-player teams, 2 USA teams, and 1 World team, sources told ESPN Sunday. Sound like they're taking a page out of the NHL All-Star Game book, huh, Paul? That's a pretty cool thing to do, because it is getting tired. You have 185 to 183 game. Guys are doing alley-oops. Looks like a Globetrotter game. And now they're going to get down and really get busy with these teams. It's going to be very competitive, especially when you throw the World team into the mix. The NBA and Players Union presented the format to the league's competition committee on Wednesday. Sources said governors, team executives, and players discussed the format within the competition committee meeting, and the response was positive. Sources said the 2 teams and 1 World squad would play each other in a 12-minute quarter games, sources said. The 2026 All-Star Game will be played in Los Angeles at the Intuit Dome, the new home of the LA Clippers, on February 15th. That's supposed to be beautiful. The game will be aired on NBC and will shift from a Sunday evening to a Sunday afternoon start time. Last year's format for the NBA All-Star Game, a 4-team single elimination tournament with a target score of 40 points for each round, drew mixed reviews, with several players taking issue with the breaks during the and between games. So we'll see what happens. That's pretty cool, though. I kind of like that new format. Be something worth tuning in for.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA, you know what it is? When Kobe retired, though, the All-Star Game changed. Because then who was the face of the league? LeBron James. And he doesn't put forth the best effort.
No way.
Especially in All-Star games and stuff.
When Kobe played, and when Jordan
he wanted to win the MVP every time.
When all these guys, prior to Kobe retiring, played the All-Star Game, they played to win. You'd watch some of these games. These guys hammered each other.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And
that was really a product of Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan just bringing out so much just fire every game.
Yeah, because it was a pride thing. These guys, they don't need the money. but it doesn't seem like they have the pride.
No.
Of actually beating the best one-on-one.
No, they don't. They don't have that. They don't.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, they got to try something because hopefully he retires soon enough because I think he's ruined the All-Star game for everybody.
Absolutely. Real quick, Rick, I just want to get one in. The Eagles' tush-push play finds a perfect sponsor, Paul Boy of Breitbart. The Eagles' controversial tush-push play now has a sponsor in the company. Dude Wipes.
Nice.
After it survived the league-wide vote. Yeah, well, I hope they get wiped out tomorrow night when the Cowboys play them, but unlikely. So the tush-push brought to you by Dude Wipes.
That's pretty funny.
Man, wrap yourself around that one. But very
well, if you're gonna stick your nose in there, you want to make sure it's all good.
And the Dude Wipes mascot's name, Deuce.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's a wrap in sports. Rick, back to you to close it out.
I'm glad it's not Spanky.
Yeah, exactly. Slick Rick Sports. Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Make sure to take advantage of it. Get some great stuff. Mike has some great. My favorite thing has got to be.
He certainly does. The whole different set of sheets.
Yeah. The bath sheet is my favorite. The huge towel. And you just wrap yourself up as soon as you come out of the shower. Nice and dry. All right, we'll take a quick break.
Thank you, Aaron.
We'll take a quick break. We'll finish up Fast Show tonight. Yeah. One more time with Paul and Kevin Downey Jr. right after this. Live from Studio 6B. Stay there.
There's no way they would even do that.
I gotta buy a TV now. Come on.
Oh man.
Yeah, everything. Oh, that was a moment. Oh man. I can't. I'm not gonna. I'll get it to you later.
Oh, man. My eyes are on fire. It was just so much done at this house in Great Neck.
Oh, Great Neck. That's a nice area.
It's really nice.
Nice ROI there, boy.
We got because the
some good turf there.
The traffic is so bad getting there.
I hate Nassau County. Nassau County's
and
crazy.
This is all the way on the Queens border.
Oh.
So it's LIE or Northern State.
Forget about it.
And
you get a bagel, it takes you 3 hours.
I hit the road at 6:15 this morning, thinking I was going to beat the traffic.
Oh no!
I cannot believe how much.
School's back in.
Holy! I mean, I'm not kidding. I left the house at 6:15, and it was a 51-minute ride. LIE was standstill. But we got so much done. But it was just a shame. It's such a toothache. Got to get off this forsaken island.
I know it's horrendous, especially when school's in session.
55 minutes coming home.
Oof.
And then I, had a chance to, run home, get in, because we were building a second floor deck. Beautiful, big. It's going to be awesome out the back. And the wind was kicking. It was just weird. It was just so much. But so I didn't get home. It was shovel food in my face, and I had to shoot back out. So my eyes look so bloodshot. I swear I don't smoke weed. These people who live in the country who hear us talking about traffic, they probably can't wrap their head around what we're thinking staying here.
Every time I've talked to someone from like England or France that's visiting, they can't get over how long it takes to get places.
Yeah.
Because of how big our country is compared to theirs.
Yeah, I've heard that too. You're wasting so much land.
I lived in London for a little while, and it was just the tube was so easy. Driving on the wrong side of the road wasn't.
That Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Wednesday night. Damon's going to be back tomorrow night on Thursday, and of course for Friday night for the big Friday Night Live at the America First Warehouse show. So make sure you make your plans accordingly. If you can be there, be there. It'll be fun. We guarantee it. Kevin Downey Jr. will probably ask you some questions because he's like that. He likes to talk to people.
He does.
Very nosy.
Rub up against him, maybe invite him onto a couch. Anything he can do. Slick Rick has been doing sports. Paul Nolan is here, but one more time around the room, Kevin Downey Jr., who you can hear tomorrow morning right here on LI News Radio 103.9. Tell us, Kevin, what else is on your radar, man?
Well, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's this group. They call them far right in Germany. That means they're like MAGA because there's really no far right in Germany. Anyone that talks about, hey, what's with all these Muslim rapists? That's a far right person to anyone. But there's this group called the ADF. And 7 of them have died in the past few weeks.
Today. Wow. Really? I was going to get to that soon. I'm glad you're on.
This is crazy business, folks.
Oh, boy.
I firmly believe the globalists can make anyone disappear they want to. All right? I think they've done it before. I think they're going to come after Trump again. And they just said there's no statistical way that 7 people from one group can all die of natural causes or die suddenly. One guy was 80. Okay, we'll give him that.
I think let me just say, I think you're leaving out one part of the group. They're all candidates, right?
All of them are candidates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. I probably should have mentioned they're all candidates for something coming up.
For an office.
Yeah. 7 of them. And some of them, they won't say how they died. They said, well, it's personal reasons. Well, yeah, he split his head with an axe. That's pretty personal. I would take that personally as well. No, I don't know how they died. But yeah, they're all running for office. 7 of them have died. And this is the group that Germany hates. And when I say Germany, I mean the globalists, all right?
Globalists.
They hate these people. They took away their guns. They said, you're a terrorist organization. We hate you. We're going to take away any guns you might have. You can't be trusted. Well, how dare you? How dare you speak out against the Muslim rapists and the replacements?
Yeah, so I have the list here. Ralph Lang, 66. He was the primary candidate for Bloomberg City Council. He died on the 28th of chronic diseases, but confirmed natural causes. So the death invalidated sent in ballots for him. Wolfgang Klinger, he was 71. He was the primary candidate for the city council. He died around the same chronic diseases, calling it likely natural causes. Stefan Berendes, 59, for a bad Lip Spring City Council, died of natural causes.
That sounds like a chronic problem.
Wolfgang Seitz, 59, candidate for Rheinberg City Council, died of a heart attack. Police have initiated a routine investigation, but no foul play suspected. Renee Herford, she was a reserve candidate for the Oberg County. She died from chronic liver disease leading to kidney failure or considered natural causes. And Patrick Titz, that's right, Patrick Titz, reserve candidate from Oberg County, also died from suicide. Pretty spectacular, KDJ. I think they said the odds of this is somewhere in the 1 in 22 million category that this could happen at this rate. So the intelligence agencies have unlimited resources, and as Chuck Schumer would say, a million ways to kill you to Sunday.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that sounds like what happened in Mexico last year, leading up to their elections. Up to 60 politicians were assassinated during the pre-campaign and campaign periods in Mexico. So kind of seems like that this kind of stuff happens. Anywhere that they decide that we don't want certain types of people to come into power.
And look at this, man. 20,000 candidates are running for election or re-election in local elections in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. 20,000. No other political party has lost even one person.
Unbelievable. Well, not unbelievable.
Nothing to see here, folks.
It's just so covert. They just don't even care.
Just the natural causes of murder is probably on tap for there.
Yeah.
Paul Nolan, anything else you have on your radar?
Yeah, well, I thought this was cute. Joy Reid today said that Trump was never shot and it was a fake, and that blood on his ear was a setup. and that's why his ear grew back. Yeah, Joy Reid said that today.
Kevin has the shirt on too there.
And, so that's in the psychobabble realm. I don't know if you saw that, but I don't know if you know that supposedly there are masks of the new fashion in Gavin Newsom's California. Residents are being urged to wear masks as a new wave of coronavirus is hitting the Gavin Newsom state. A COVID wave is washing over California, with the state seeing continual increases in the number of newly confirmed cases and hospitalizations, and some officials urge the public to take greater precautions. The extent of the recent increases prompted some county-level health officials to recommend that residents once again consider wearing masks in the indoor public settings and do exactly what you're told and be a complete buffoon and puppet, because we will gaslight you to your death.
Awesome. That sounds like a good time. Coming from the left. Hey, real quick, I don't know if you guys saw this. Of course, the leftist deep state media is still freaking out over the fact that President Trump gave the go-ahead to blow up some narco-terrorists. And here is Secretary Rubio being asked about that. Here's cut number 13. Here he is talking about that and what the policy is for the U.S. moving forward. That's cut number 13. Check this out.
The United States has long, for many, many years, established intelligence that allow us to interdict and stop drug boats. And we did that. And it doesn't work. Interdiction doesn't work because these drug cartels, what they do is they know they're going to lose, 2% of their cargo. They bake it into their economics. What will stop them is when you blow them up, when you get rid of them. The President of the United States is going to wage war on narco-terrorist organizations. This one was operating in international waters, headed towards the United States to flood our country with poison. And under President Trump, those days are over.
Yeah, and as you saw from the video,
How's
right
that
there.
I'm
controversial.
What's so? I mean, they're bringing fentanyl and dope in. They're going to ruin kids' lives.
Yeah, and as you saw from the video of them blowing up the boat, that's basically Donald Trump playing Narco Terror 2K. He just downloaded it, and he's been grinding it for the last couple days, and he picked up on.
Do you think this will be a deterrent, KDJ?
Yeah, I think. Well, it'll be a deterrent, but I also think there's just people who are going to say, "You take this boat over there, or we're going to shoot your family." And now they're just hoping they make it.
Right. Here is Vice President J.D. Vance commenting on this.
That's a really good point.
What?
That's a really good point. We should do another hour.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it Friday night.
Maybe next week. All right, here's VP J.D. Vance talking about this as the deep state media, of course, wants to know, why is President Trump killing terrorists? Cut number 10. Check it out.
On the Venezuela vessel strike, what legal authority were you guys working under, and will there be an after report on the strike?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be an after report. I mean, the legal authority, and I want to talk about these kids, is that there are people who are bringing literal terrorists who are bringing deadly drugs into our country, and the President of the United States ran on a promise of stopping this poison from coming into our country. Another question?
Yeah, another question.
Do you have the legal basis to fight our enemies? I think people underestimate just how important these drug cartels are to the globalist plan. Because China and these cartels they're combined at the hip, folks. And if we don't get rid of them, we don't win.
Yeah, it's like the poppy seed farms over in Afghanistan that was controlled by the CIA, like USAID.
Fast and Furious.
Throwing the gold bars over the side of the Titanic, as they mentioned. And now,
we've seen Epstein was involved in so many covert money laundering operations through these drug cartels.
Yeah, and you know what's great, too? I mentioned that politician calling for an investigation into the finances of Jeffrey Epstein. He did it again tonight. He called for it again tonight.
Yeah, buddy.
So they are pushing on the money trail. Follow the money. Follow the money. Bongino always said, follow the money. All right. With that wraps up tonight's show. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we salute our military, active and retired first responders, EMTs, firefighters, police, ICE, Border Patrol, everybody working the front lines. Thank you so much. Kevin Downey Jr., make sure you check him out tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on 103.9 LI News Radio. Slick Rick, Paul Nolan, Aaron and Fran in the booth, everybody at home on the chats. Thank you for watching. We will see you tomorrow night. Till then, peace.
Caesar.
Your wallet is always in danger. Criminals can scan and hack your information without you even knowing. Worse yet, it's bulky and so disorganized. But not anymore, because Slim is in. Introducing Slim Mint, an ultra-thin RFID blocking wallet that keeps your cards and cash truly protected. And now may be your last chance to get it for a low price. Slim Mint uses the latest RFID blocking technology to prevent thieves from scanning your wallet and stealing your info.
Having your information stolen is a nightmare, but with Slim Mint, I know I'm protected.
With money clips, cash can easily fall out, but with the auto-locking Slim Mint, your cards and money stay securely in place. Then just press the button to release the lock. Slim Mint is ergonomically designed to optimize space and keep your belongings organized. It has a built-in cash clip and a flexible outer band to securely fit your additional cards and your extra cash. Even with everything you see here in the Slim Mint, it's still ultra-thin. Bulky wallets are uncomfortable, but the Slim Mint is so compact it fits in any size pocket. Plus, it keeps everything easy to access.
Slim Mint holds everything from pictures to credit cards, my driver's license. Yeah, it's still so thin.
Say bye-bye to bent cards and damaged magnetic strips. Slim Mint keeps them protected. It's crush resistant and can really take a beating. Similar wallets sell for over $100. But call or click now and get Slim Mint for just $29.99. Order in the next 5 minutes and you'll get an instant $10 discount. So it's only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get Slim Mint at this low price. There's a strict limit of 3 Slim Mint wallets while supplies last. You still have time to get your very own Slim Mint wallets, but you must act fast. Don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-608-6630. That's 1-800-608-6630. Call or visit slimmintwallet.com. So call 1-800-608-6630 now.
It's very possible that you may be safer in Mexico than if you were in Oakland, California. Also, there's a huge backlog of illegal immigrants trying to go through the courts. We all know this. It might look like the president has figured out what to do about that. A fascinating new approach from Pete Hegseth and the DOJ, the Department of Defense. Also, nobody's going to school. This is a crazy one to me. Now, in some ways, I agree with it. In other ways, it's sickening and horrifying, especially when you look at where it's happening. All that and more coming up on this episode of Turning Point Tonight. My name is Joe Bob. Thanks so much for tuning in. Together, we are charting the course of America's cultural comeback. This is Turning Point Tonight. Now, I got to remind you that you can email the show anytime you want. tpt@tpusa.com. We love seeing your emails, whether you agree with everything we've ever said on the show or you're wrong. Doesn't matter. Love sending in your emails. tpt@tpusa.com. Also, send us some funny memes or stories. We like to have fun here, especially in segment 4. That's when we pull all of those bad boys up. Now, before we get to any of those stories and our fantastic panel, and we do have a fantastic panel today, I got to get to this because I really think this is interesting. And I'm going to warn you, I'm going to try to explain somewhat of a difficult to explain story. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so I want to try and make it as concise as possible. But, who knows if I'm going to get around to doing that in an appropriate and manageable fashion. California's Supreme Court issued a new ruling on their 3 strikes law. If you don't know anything about the 3 strikes rule, California, to its credit, this actually makes some sense. If you commit and convicted of 3 either violent or serious felonies, you automatically get sentenced to 25 years to life. In other words, if you do too many of these things, 3 violent felonies, we don't really need you in society anymore. Just go off to the prison and just rot there until you're no longer. That makes sense. Okay. So, if you're a gang member, the chances of you getting a strike in that 3 strikes policy goes up because of the enhancements to your crime. If you committed or attempted murder, the chances that you get a strike go up because you're a part of the gang. Well, the California Supreme Court recently ruled that a law that was instituted in 2021, which raised the burden of proof to prove that somebody was in a gang, well, that meant that gang members that were convicted prior to that, but their issue was still on appeal, might have a strike be taken away. Let me try and simplify that just a little bit more. If you were issued a strike because you were a gang member, the California Supreme Court basically said, according to this new 2021 law, is, well, we're not entirely sure if you were a gang member because now the burden of proof is higher, and therefore you might have to eliminate one of those strikes, again, on those gang members who committed and were convicted of violent felonies. I hope that makes sense. I hope there was a decent job of explaining that. The bottom line here is, though, California continuing the trajectory of being completely soft on crime. I wonder how that's going to work out for the formerly Golden State. Let's bring in our panel. Kristen Sokoloff is a conservative commentator, and Bo Robinson is a comedian and also commentator, among many other things. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Kristen, I want to start with you here. California has hit a lot of blowback, especially from around the country, especially with one Governor Newsom and his presidential hopes, saying, hey, you guys have just not prosecuted crime in the last decade or so, and it seems to be a crime-ridden hellhole. Are you going to do anything to fix that? And it seems like the California legislature and the Supreme Court says, nope, it's fine. We're not going to give gangbangers strikes at all. What are your thoughts looking in on the messed up laboratory of democracy that is California?
Oh my gosh. So basically with what you're talking about, this guy could be dripping in gang colors, head to toe bandanas, flashing gang signs in every picture on Facebook. I learned one in 8th grade. I was showing Glenn earlier. But anyways, that's not enough anymore. We're needing at this point a notarized profit loss statement from the gang's accountant before we can call it gang related and prove that the gang financially benefited. That is one of the changes made.
Yeah, that is. I thank you for summing that up so well, because there's a lot of stuff to condense in there, but yeah, that's effectively what it is. You really just need a notarized signature from the gang member saying, "I am in this gang." That's effectively what you need. Bo,
seriously,
trajectory-wise, you think this is going to work out well for California? Kind of raising the standards to hit that 3 strikes rule and having more violent criminals out on the street?
I think I have a follow-up question to that. Is anything working out for California right now? They might as well call these strikes balls, because after 3 or 4, they're letting these guys walk. You know what I mean? I feel bad for the gangs. These guys take a long time to build up these rap sheets, and slowly they're just erasing all of the crimes they've ever done. I'm worried about California. I'm worried for you, Joe Bob. I'm worried for me. I'm worried for everybody in California right now, because it seems like crime is on the uprise and they fail to report it. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to necessarily condone feeling bad for the gangs, but at the same time, I understand your point. The street cred in the jail goes down like, hey, you hear Ruben got a strike knocked off? Man, that guy's not as cool anymore. That's a fair point. That actually might happen in some California prisons.
Can you imagine? Ruben's I worked hard at this.
Yeah. Speaking of California, well, I guess California is heavily influenced by the teachers unions. One of the biggest spenders in California politics. We've all been aware of the teachers unions and how bad they are. And this is nothing against teachers necessarily. It's their unions. Well, where does their money go when they actually dole out money? 70% of the nation's public school teachers, government school teachers, are a part of the unions. And of that, Pew Research says about 58% of them lean to the left, while 35% of them lean to the right. So that's still a third of teachers, Kristen, that claim that, hey, we are semi-conservative in our value system. Have we seen any teachers union stump for conservative values in any way, shape, or form? As someone who's a very involved with and understanding the homeschool system, I don't know, what do you see the contrasts between the public government schools and the homeschool systems and the values being propagated?
Yeah, so it is wild, because if we think about it, I don't know if you guys ever see this, but we have like the neighborhood apps, and constantly our local teachers are asking for just randos to donate money so they can buy classroom supplies. And I always respond. I don't get a great response from those that I put this out to, but I say, what happened to the tax dollars? Why aren't our tax dollars purchasing all of these supplies? Why are you asking us to then pay again? And they ask parents to pay again. So, at this point, it's like parents buy the pencils, unions buy the politicians, quite frankly. They're begging for glue sticks, but the union is bankrolling Kamala. And I just have to say, I looked into this, and one of the places that the teachers unions are donating money to is Arabella Advisors. And even the Wall Street Journal said that it is dark money and billions flow through it, often to pop-up groups that fund grassroots, but they're really just, it's a political storefront.
Yeah, that seems to be exactly the case. I really feel like I want to go on the tangent of, okay, well, schools are funded by property taxes. Property values have gone through the roof. Property taxes, therefore, have gone through the roof, revenue at least. So where the heck is that money going? But we can save that for like a 3-hour conversation on a podcast sometime. Bo, the president of the National Education Association told a public radio in Philadelphia that, well, we're actually pretty evenly split between conservatives and liberals. Now, we know that statistically that's just not true. But even if that was true, why then does it only seem like the teachers' unions are stumping for liberal causes? And there's nothing about, hey, maybe we should stop the brainwashing the kids, among many other complaints that we conservatives probably have.
Yeah, I love how he's like, no, we're evenly split between Republicans and Democrats, but the children are getting nothing of this, right? In Oakland, all the kids aren't reading at math levels and reading levels that are appropriate. They've actually dropped those levels too. So it's surprising to me that they worry so much about politics and instead of worrying about the kids. And I feel bad for these kids. They're going to school having to call Mr. Mead, Mrs. Mead, and they can't even pass a math test. It's a little infuriating.
No, you make a good point. But the only problem is you say they're going to school. Well, apparently they're not. According to the Wall Street Journal, absenteeism is through the roof. Absenteeism is when you have chronic absences or you miss a decent percentage of school. That means you're kind of chronically absent. Well, that number before the pandemic was about 15% nationwide, give or take. After the pandemic, obviously it doubled, but they kind of figured, okay, well this is going to rebound. People are going to come back to school. That never happened. That number really didn't fall to the level that it was pre-pandemic. In other words, kids aren't going to school. The schools are continuing to get the money that they would get otherwise if the kids did go to school, and none of the kids can read, especially in these horrible school districts like the Chicago school district. Kristen, I guess one, is it a good thing that some kids aren't going to their government schools considering what the government schools are teaching them? Or should kids that say, hey, we are going to be enrolled in government schools actually attend at the very least?
Oh, gosh. Honestly, it depends on what's happening. But I looked into this, and it's not just, we think, oh, it's just poor families, parents not making their kids go to school. They're sitting home all day coloring. I don't know what they're doing at minimum. Video games. I don't know, but that's not the case. This is actually, we're seeing this in middle class and upper middle as well. And I think, what I find is that absenteeism, it's not just laziness, it's a referendum on a broken public school system. We had a glimpse into what was being taught in 2020 and we didn't like it. And so for me, I pull my kids out, right? But not everyone can do that. And so I see them saying, I saw what they're being taught. It's not much. It's not good. It's not going to kill us. Let's go to the beach for a few days instead of having you go to school. You'll probably learn more.
Yeah, and again, I don't necessarily know how much I hate that. My problem is the tax dollars are still getting spent and the teachers are still, the teachers' unions are still bribing their way to these unbelievably lavish pension funds, which again, conversation for a different time. Bo, I don't want to put you on the spot here to be the arbitrator of what can and can't exist. Can the public schools, the government schools be saved, in your opinion, from an outside perspective? Or do we just have to scrap it all and figure out some other voucher system to charter schools or private schools? Can it be saved?
I think it can be saved. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell just by looking at me, but I didn't go to a lot of school, and I would have gone to a lot less had the schools been like this today. We've had a problem with our schools for 30, 40 years. We've nationalized our education system and everybody's got a basically a script to follow. And we need to get back to independent learning. I think private schools and school choice, which will allow schools to compete and make our system better. I think the problem is the unions. So I think it can be fixed.
Good. Oh, hey, a touch of optimism. I, unfortunately, cynically do not think it can be fixed and need to burn the public school system, government school system to the ground. But, a touch of optimism. I like optimism. We appreciate that on this show.
I agree.
Kristen,
I just have to say, with the voucher system, with the shekel comes the shackle. And I just think it's really important because some people see it as freedom, but I see it as you still have the government asking you, what books are you buying with that? They can't be Christian, right? Like, so there's so much that goes into that a lot of people, I don't accept vouchers for that reason. A lot of people that I homeschool with, they do, totally. But they have to prove to the government that what they're buying really fits within their parameters.
What it really comes down to with that in mind is I want an exemption on my property tax because I'm not spending that money at government schools. So therefore, there we go. We solved it. Kristen and Bo.
You guys own homes?
Kristen and Bo will be back right after the break to discuss, we may have a fix to the immigration backlog in the courts. This is unbelievable, definitely unprecedented, and I'm super excited that it's happening. Also, you may be safer in Mexico than you are in Oakland. You can email the show anytime you want, tpt@tpusa.com. We'll be right back after the break. Don't go away.
America Fest is the starting point for us to take America to greater heights in 2025. We have a team that is ready to change the world and bring America back to greatness.
Experience the greatest celebration of America. 4 days, thousands of patriots, the loudest voices, the strongest leaders, featuring Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, Jesse Waters, Greg Gutfeld, Grant Cardone, Rob Schneider, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Glenn Beck, Riley Gaines, Todd Chrisley, Savannah Chrisley, and more. December 18th to 21st in Phoenix, Arizona. The movement meets here. You won't want to miss this. Register now at amfest.com.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, we get you printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and in bookstores across the country. We'll even help you promote your book. That's right, we do all this for you. Biography, self-help, mystery, novels, sci-fi, even a children's book. No matter what genre, Page Publishing can bring your book to life. Call today for your free author submission kit and find out how you can be the next published author at Page Publishing.
Call for your free writer's guide, 800-319-0257. That's 800-319-0257, 800-319-0257, or scan the QR code now.
Welcome back to Turning Point Tonight, where together we are charting the course of America's cultural comeback. Want to remind you, you can email the show anytime you want, tpt@tpusa.com. Love seeing all of your emails. Let's check in with Turning Point's White House correspondent, Monica Page at the White House. Monica, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Joe Bob. It's a beautiful day here. So
you look like you're doing better than those illegal/gangbanger people who are riding on the boat. Tell us what happened there. Sorry, I'm burying the lead. If you haven't seen this video already, you're going to see it a ton in the B-roll. But Monica, President Trump took some action against some Tren de Aragua members. And what happened?
I was just saying you can't play that video enough because it just doesn't get old. I mean, you've got 11 narco terrorists on this boat outside of Venezuela in international waters heading towards the United States. And the president ordered our military to strike the boat and essentially causing this explosion and killing these narco terrorists who would have committed atrocious crimes here on our soil, whether that is coming in here illegally or trying to, trying to smuggle in drugs that kill Americans. So you've got two of the probably worst crimes you could commit here in the United States, murdering our own citizens. And the president said, you know what, we're going to escalate to de-escalate. That's been something that the president has been very good at doing. One of the most the better policies that really work for this administration, where you're kind of creating a force of deterrence and saying, let this be a warning to anybody who tries to come to our country and kill our Americans and sell their drugs here on our soil. So the president did what he felt was the right move. But now you have a ton of liberal backlash, Joe Bob, on social media. I've been seeing the Ed and Brian Krasenstein brothers and plenty of liberal pundits or bots on social media saying, trying to offer what seems to be their condolences towards these 11 narco terrorists, saying, oh, well, maybe Trump should have just seized the boat and seized the drugs and apprehended those criminals. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for our country and keeping us safe. And that's exactly what the president did.
I also, wanted to comment on the liberal backlash there, saying, well, it's just going to embolden them. That's not going to stop these narco terrorists from coming into the country. On the contrary, I think that actually did a pretty good job at stopping them. I want to say that blowing up their boat is pretty effective. So,
needless to say, they won't be back.
Yeah, they will not be back for sure. Speaking of people who are coming into the United States, some people we welcome. The president of Poland. That was a pretty jarring transitions, but I think the viewers know what I mean here. The leader of Poland, widely renowned as one of the more conservative countries, not only in Europe but in the world, visited President Trump at the White House today. Tell us what was going on there.
Yeah, Poland's been a country that's also kind of been bearing the brunt here when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war, when it comes to accepting some refugees who are trying to flee due to the war. But the president meeting with the Polish president this afternoon, holding this beautiful flyover of F-16 and F-35 fighter jets in honor of one of the F-16 pilots, a Polish pilot, who was killed tragically. President Trump honoring him in that beautiful flyover that we saw just this morning. But talks included trade and definitely trying to forge a path forward with this progress, with this Russian-Ukraine war. The president said today that he doesn't really have a message for Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin knows exactly where the president stands on this and does plan to hold a phone call with the Russian president in the coming days. So hopefully we'll find out more information. The president's also really been trying to get Zelensky and Putin together in this room together. It's kind of been very conflicting trying to get them together. I don't know if Putin's going to be holding up his side of the deal here, but nonetheless, the president is really kind of relying on his European allies to kind of see what kind of more security assistances we could provide to Ukraine in the meantime, and how we can get these two sitting together face to face and forging this new path towards peace.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to watch that unfold. Wow, Monica, thanks so much for reporting. Really appreciate you taking the time. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Joe Bob.
Thank you. I have been asking this question the entirety of the time that we've known there is a massive backlog of asylum seekers or illegal immigrants or whatever you want to call them in our court system. There's a 3.5 million person waiting list, which is why all of this stuff is so slow. I, again, would much rather be in the side of let's just kick the illegals out of the country and figure it out from there. The wait in Mexico policy that President Trump had in his first term was fantastic, but I've been wondering, why can't we get more judges to rule on these cases faster? Congress can approve it, but it looks like the president and the administration, President Trump, is going to do exactly what I've been lobbying for. First of all, maybe he's listening to me. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe President Trump is listening to me, in which case, thank you so much, sir, for actually instituting something that I've been saying for a very long time. Let's bring our panel back, Kristen and Bo. Kristen, this is really, really interesting. So the Pentagon is now saying that military lawyers can serve as temporary judges in immigration cases, specifically to clear this backlog. This is great news to me. I feel like this is why wasn't this happening to begin with? Do you think? I was just about to ask the question, do you think libs are going to have a fit about it? But I think we both know the answer to that. So, Elder, do you think that this might be the solution to getting this backlog cleared and finally getting our country back on track after the rampant illegal immigration over the last 4 years?
Yes, when I read this, I had a raging heart on, making a heart here. Because, as the left is saying that this is undermining the courts. No, this isn't undermining the courts. What undermines the courts is a backlog so big that people stay here illegally for a decade before their hearing. I love this.
Yeah, it feels like, honestly, it's doing justice to people who are afforded the right to a quick trial, which, hey, here you go. Here's your quick trial. Bo, I kind of feel like once all of this backlog is cleared out, I think the country's going to start running way more smoothly because you've got you still have two competing problems. Yes, the border is stopped with President Trump in power. Nobody's coming in. But at the same time, you still got millions of people here illegally. Once you get through that process, I don't know. I feel like things are going to run a bunch smoother. Is there any reason why we wouldn't do something like this?
I can't imagine why we wouldn't do something like this. And I can't imagine more people aren't signing up. Why do we need lawyers at all to do this? I mean, the law system's broken. We were just talking about the school system. In my personal opinion, most lawyers can't define what a woman is. So how are they going to know what an illegal is versus an illegal isn't? I'll sign up. Trump, you need an extra? I have one question. No illegal? Illegal. You know, it's like, and then depending on how they answer, move them right along. So I agree with you, though. I do think that when we get people out of this country, things will come back to, prices will drop, at least in housing, and things will come back to a more functional society that we have, because it's run amok right now.
I want to go on record in saying that I don't know if I endorse Bo's appointment to be immigration judge. I just want to say that on the record right here. I love you as a person, dude, but I don't know if I don't know if I just want to stoop that low.
All right, leave it in the comments below, guys, whether you think I should be an immigration lawyer or not.
We'll show that to the president. Hey, this guy is a comedian and he has no legal experience whatsoever, but we did get 1,000 signatures saying that he should be an immigration judge, so we're going to go with that.
That should be about enough.
You know, speaking along the lines of immigration, whether or not obviously the United States as a whole is better, but there are parts of it like Oakland, California, where you might rather be in Mexico. I thought this was a hilarious story that I came across. I want to show you guys this video and get your reaction to the Mexican national soccer team got mugged in Oakland, of all places. Watch this.
High-profile break-in in Oakland. We're learning the Mexican national soccer team was robbed yesterday. Telemundo has confirmed with the team it happened in the parking lot of their downtown hotel where they're staying. The team says the thieves broke into their truck and stole balls, flags, cones, and shirts. We did reach out to Oakland police tonight, but they're not available for comment. Mexico plays Japan in a friendly match this coming Saturday at the Oakland Coliseum.
Bo, I'm going to give you a chance to either get yourself in a lot of trouble or, you know, say something more appropriate. But considering the fact that a lot of the jerseys, it sounds like, or a lot of the team, memorabilia was stolen, who do you think committed this crime?
Well, we now know where those Mexican flags came from in downtown LA. Am I right? I mean, come on. You know, my favorite thing about this article was when you read through it, you find out that somebody skipped school to be there. And if I was a lawyer regarding customs enforcement here, I would deport him and his father. Get to school, kiddo. What's going on?
Kristen, again, you know, this doesn't really have a ton of political ramifications. It's just really interesting that a team from Mexico came to the United States and got robbed in Oakland. I don't know, what does that say about Oakland and how California does its policing of crime?
Oh my gosh. And what really stood out to me is like the police are like, well, it wasn't expensive, but that's like not even the point. It's the fact that, you know, the welcome mat in Oakland always seems to roll out, right? It's the Raiders left, the Warriors left, the A's are leaving, and now even visiting teams cannot come to town without getting robbed first. And at the same time, city leaders are bragging that ICE won't be allowed at the stadium. I mean, the absurdity.
Which is funny. I like the fact that you echoed the thing that they said, well, there wasn't a lot of money. So, okay, well then it's fine.
Yeah,
You're right.
Cool then.
There wasn't a ton it was just some cones and some team memorabilia. It's fine then. Ridiculous. Yeah. Kristen, Bo, guys, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you, Joe.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Coming up next here on Turning Point tonight, got an awesome clip from Alex Clark's Culture Apothecary podcast. Remember, you can also email the show, tpt@tpusa.com, anytime you want. Love seeing your emails. We'll be right back after the break.
Hey, did you find the manual?
Yes!
Summon Dale!
Who's Dale?
American Home Show now provides video chat with live repair experts for home fixes over the phone. Let's go fix that oven.
Okay, Dale.
Sign up today at ahs.com.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you out of harm's way. Bullseye Pro is lightweight, durable, and powerful enough to inflate this massive monster truck tire. Plus, it has 4 ultra-bright LED lights to safely inflate at night. Bullseye Pro comes with 3 custom air nozzles on board, so you can easily inflate pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Forget driving to the gas station. Bullseye Pro is your anywhere, anytime inflation station. Call or go online now and get the complete Bullseye Pro inflation system, all for the factory direct price of just $79.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. But to really inflate this offer, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. You get it all. An incredible value for one low price. Call or go online to order now.
To order, call 1-800-976-9718 or go to getbullseyepro.com. So call 1-800-976-9718. That's 1-800-976-9718 or order online at getbullseyepro.com. Order now.
Do you suffer in pain? Are you stiff, tense, or less active? Introducing the Easy Well Remedy Massage System, a triple fusion of therapeutic experiences. Full body vibrational therapy increases blood circulation and reduces inflammation. Infrared heat penetrates deep to reduce pain, soothe, and relax. The Ultra Shiatsu pillow with 6 heated nodes mimics a professional massage. Plus, it's detachable for deep relief anywhere you need it. Experience the true remedy for your pain and stiffness. Call now.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Do you think that's what most people struggling with migraines are dealing with is magnesium deficiency? Like instead of popping an ibuprofen or an aspirin, if they just pop magnesium, they probably feel better?
I think a lot of people are magnesium deficient. It's probably one of the most common deficiencies. It used to be really prevalent in our water, which now we know our water is stripped of everything. And it used to be really prevalent in our soil, and our soil is stripped of everything. So that's probably one of the Also, it's so highly researched. So everybody knows magnesium is great. There's like multiple forms of it. So I think a lot of people are magnesium deficient. People are lacking minerals. That's why we all feel insane and have no energy. We're just lacking any type of real nourishment. And minerals you don't really get from ultra processed foods. It's really from these super nourishing foods that come from the ground, that come from, living creatures.
You are so no BS ever when it comes to wellness. Like that's what your Instagram is so great for, is obviously education, and you teach people stuff, but you're also just like, I'm going to tell it to you straight. I don't care if I burn bridges, which is very bold. I mean, I don't even know that I am that brave, because you could like really mess up connections and things like that. But you're like, I don't care. I just want to say that. I just want to, tell people what it is, what I think. What do you think is the most evil or corrupt aspect of the health and wellness space?
I think just the marketing in general. I mean, I've seen brands straight up lie about their marketing and double down on it when they're called out on it. I've seen brands delete comments over and over again, going back on things that they said that they would never do, and then here they are doing it. So marketing in the wellness space, as somebody who is in it and I'm trying my best to be the good parts of the wellness space, is something that I'm constantly reminding people that you can put anything on the front of a box, on the front of a bag. You can say pretty much anything you want. And if you get caught, then you're screwed. But most people don't. You can say this cures this or does that for the most part, and you'll get away with it. We see it every day on TikTok. We see it every day on Instagram, and people fall for it every time. They think that some greens powder is going to cure their IBS, and they're being told all these things are going to balance their hormones and heal themselves. And then when they're on this supplement for months and months and months and they're not feeling better, and they go back to the company and they're like, hey, I don't feel any better from this. You promised me all these results. And the company just block, delete. I don't care. We have another customer somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess I see that a lot. And I know that you call out a lot of people in our space that you feel like are making people feel bad, like if they're not perfect enough when it comes to health and wellness, then they're out. And I don't know. I think that's interesting. To me, I know how you eat. I know how you live. I know your routine. And I'm like, you are so unbelievably clean and very intentional about what you're putting on your body and in your body. And yet you're like, stop making people have unrealistic expectations about wellness.
Yeah, I think because I started as a college student trying to figure out like what's good for me, what's not. And I think we always have to meet people where they're at in a realistic way. Like there's kind of two sides of the spectrum. I feel like there's people that are everything in moderation, and you can have the alcohol every weekend, and you can have the ultra processed protein bar like every time you have a good workout, and you could keep that bowl of candy in your house and just binge on it for the
So I don't think when people say everything in moderation, I don't think they're being relatable or meeting people where they're at. I think they're sabotaging them.
If somebody is telling you you can enjoy some of the worst foods moderately, they actually just hate you. Like there is no way that person is actually looking for your best interest, because we wouldn't tell an alcoholic that they should have a beer every now and then. We would never do that. Meanwhile, we know that ultra processed food is addictive. Like we have science to support that. We know that it literally lights up areas in the brain the same way that nicotine does. Like we know these things, that smoking a cigarette and consuming alcohol are lighting up the same pathways of ultra processed food. It's very, very similar. So the fact that we continue to tell people to sabotage their health over and over again for the sake of a holiday or a weekend or a birthday, we're just continuing to allow people to destroy their health little by little. And then they never are able to make these connections about why I'm always bloated, why I've had acne for all of my adulthood, why I have migraines, why my hormones are a wreck. Like, oh, I don't know, because I've been eating everything in moderation for so long. And I've been told by all these professionals that that's okay and that's normal.
So like, I think that sets people up to fail. I don't think that that's helpful.
Yeah.
When people are like, well, do you have to be perfect to be in the space? Or Alex Clark wants everybody to be perfect. I'm like, no. First of all, I just think we're all adults here. Don't we have common sense? I mean, like I'm traveling right now and I didn't want to pack like a whole entire shampoo bottle and stuff. So like I'm using the shampoo and conditioner in the hotel, but I did bring my own body wash. Yeah. And then I have my non-toxic toothpaste with me. But I ate at a restaurant last night and I only ordered real food. I got oysters and I had scallops and all that, but I don't know what they cooked the scallops in. It could have been seed oil. I don't know. But like things like that, I'm like, those are the little things that obviously it's not perfection. That's unrealistic. But yeah, I mean, kind of talk to like where you feel like health and wellness influencers are setting people up to fail, and like what's a reality for what imperfection in the space can look like while still being the healthiest non-toxic you can be.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's levels, right? I think for many people, at least for me, I could speak on myself. When I first was, my hormones were all over the place. My gut was a freaking wreck. I had to get really strict with a lot of the things because I had no idea what was causing all the distress in my life. So I got really strict. I wasn't even taking supplements. I took a year off of supplements because I'm like, I don't even know what to take. I don't even know if I'm taking quality stuff. I was only consuming real food. I ditched all ultra processed food. Like anything that you find like at a gas station is not, to this day, I'm very strict about that. And I just really got down to the nitty gritty of like, okay, I'm going to eat basic, high quality meat. I'm going to make sure I'm eating my vegetables and having my fiber and have a very balanced plate. And I really did that. And that's when I really started to see a shift. And I was able to build on that, right? So then I was able to kind of test the waters with, okay, is it really dairy that's causing all my problems? Because I think in the wellness space, we're told like we can't have dairy, we can't have, whatever else. You have to be vegan, you have to be carnivore. Most people just need to eat less ultra processed junk. Let's start there. So I think for most people, I think if we can live a life where we're not consuming nutrient void, chemically laden foods, you're going to feel like 80% better than the average person of America, because 60% of Americans are eating mostly ultra processed foods. So I think that's the first thing that I always tell people is, and then everything else is pretty much, I feel like on you, right? At least for me, I eat only real food. I'm not going to go, and have Cheetos. Like, it's just not for me.
Yeah, the worst thing, like when people say like, do you ever eat fast food or whatever? I'm like, the closest I get to that would be Chipotle. Like, I am in a pinch. Like, there is nothing. Like, I have been filming all night, and that's the only restaurant that's open till 10 p.m. Like, and then I'll go and I'll just get like rice and steak and a bowl and corn or whatever, and like, that's better than McDonald's to me. So I do that.
I think people can't fathom that once you get to that place where your healing feels so good that you don't want anything to sabotage it, but not in an obsessive way. Like, oh my God, I can't, because we see that too a lot in the wellness space. And that is like true orthorexia, like, because people want to throw that word around, but that's like a really serious diagnosis where your day-to-day life is disrupted because you have to live a certain way, right? Like, if I came here and I go on vacation and I'm, packing all my own food and I can't enjoy a dinner out with my husband, that is disrupting my way of life, right? Because I can only eat the food that I brought in this glass container and everything's so perfectly, that is obsessive. But I also have seen people who are in such an autoimmune flare that is the way that they need to live, right? So it's like, only you can really find that balance. But I think for me, I've drawn the line at, I do not drink alcohol. I haven't consumed alcohol in 4+ years, and I do not consume ultra processed foods. And I'm a lot like you. Like, the closest I'll get is a borderline fast food, like a Chipotle, which, they've improved their, ingredients a lot
they're
in the
at
past
least,
year.
I think, non-GMO besides, obviously
yeah. And then I just make it myself, right? Like, I try my best. And I think also when I travel, I do try to travel to places that have, better options and things. But we've gone on road trips where the only thing around is like a Starbucks or like a Panera Bread or McDonald's and Wendy's, and like, what are you gonna do?
Do you ever crave a Baconator though?
Never have craved. I don't even think I've had one. I don't really crave anything, actually. I mean, early days I could have downed a row of Oreos. Honestly, if someone catches me on a good day, I might slip one. But Oreos were my jam. But I just don't crave that anymore. Like, it's not. There's always an alternative, right? Like,
that's how I feel.
There's always an alternative, but you can't explain it until you've gone through it, like, until you've gotten to that other side. Like, I want to give people hope that if you feel like you're being consumed by ultra processed foods, like, if you go 100% off them, there will come a time where you just think it's disgusting to
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, when people are like, do you ever just crave like Chick-fil-A? I'm like, literally no.
Never in my life.
The thought of it actually makes me nauseous, not like, oh, that sounds good to me. Once you're away from it, it tastes awful.
Yeah. I used to every day after personal training, because I had personal training for like 8 to 10 hours a day, literally.
What?
Yeah, I was wrecking. Yeah, I was like, wonder why my hormones are all messed up. I'm working 8 hours a day, 8 to 10 hours a day, like just personal training. And afterwards, I would always treat myself with Wendy's. And now I could throw up at the thought. Throw up at the thought of eating Wendy's.
America Fest is the starting point for us to take America to greater heights in 2025. We have a team that is ready to change the world and bring America back to greatness.
Experience the greatest celebration of America. 4 days, thousands of patriots, the loudest voices, the strongest leaders, featuring Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, Jesse Waters, Greg Gutfeld, Grant Cardone, Rob Schneider, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Glenn Beck, Riley Gaines, Todd Chrisley, Savannah Chrisley, and more. December 18th to 21st in Phoenix, Arizona. The movement meets here. You won't want to miss this. Register now at amfest.com.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, we get you printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and in bookstores across the country. We'll even help you promote your book. That's right, we do all this for you. Biography, self-help, mystery, novels, sci-fi, even a children's book. No matter what genre, Page Publishing can bring your book to life. Call today for your free author submission kit and find out how you can be the next published author at Page Publishing.
Call for your free writer's guide, 800-319-0257. That's 800-319-0257, 800-319-0257, or scan the QR code now.
Water, nature's ultimate cleaner. We drink it, we bathe in it. Think water, think steam, think clean. Now harness the power of water with the H2O X5 5-in-1 steam cleaning system.
I'm so impressed with the X5. It's an all-in-one product, so I can use it throughout my entire house.
It's cleaning, it's sanitizing, there's no chemicals in it. It's just steam.
This is unbelievable. There is no more odor.
5 minutes, I'm done. Look at that, it's amazing.
If you're ready to step into an effective, economical, and eco-safe world of cleaning, look no further than the H2O X5. Using just the power of superheated water, the X5 Super Hot Steam cleans and kills up to 99% of germs, viruses, and bacteria. You could spend over $500 to purchase the products that the X5 5-in-1 Miracle replaces. But through this special TV offer, you won't spend $400, $300, or even $200. Order your H2O X5 steam cleaning system, a $500 value, for just 4 easy payments of $43. You'll get the X5 steam mop with microfiber pad, the carpet glider, the handheld scrubber, the window glass and mirror attachment, and the garment and upholstery bonnet. It's a complete 10-piece system, all this for just 4 easy payments of $43. But it gets even better. Order now and we'll upgrade your X5 package. We'll add a 6th mode with a dusting and polishing wand. Valued at over $30, this extra bonus attachment makes your H2O X5 the H2O X6. That means your 10-piece system becomes a 12-piece system at no extra cost to you. If after 30 days you're not absolutely delighted, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. Don't wait. Now's your chance to own the X5 for just 4 easy payments, and we'll make the first payment for you. You get the X5 incredible 5-in-1 lightweight, powerful 12-piece steam cleaning system, a $500 value, all for just 3 easy payments of $43. This offer can't last forever, so call or click right now.
Welcome back to Turning Point Tonight, where together we are charting the course of America's cultural comeback. Remember, you can get 50% off general admission tickets to America Fest, Turning Point's flagship and I think best event of the year. Amfest.com, 50% off general admission. And it's also better just to book everything now because it's always cheaper. Hotels, flights, cars, if you need that sort of thing, always going to be cheaper the further out you book it. 50% off general admission too. So Amfest.com. Best event of the year by far. You can also email the show anytime you want, tpt@tpusa.com. We love seeing all your emails, your videos that you send us. I'm not exaggerating, across the email and social media, I think probably close to 1 million people sent me this video that we're going to play on Woke Wednesday. But the best way to send stuff to us is tpt@tpusa.com. Again, love seeing all of your emails there. So without further ado, it is Wednesday, which means it's Woke Wednesday. I know I say this frequently, but I really wonder what that lady is doing with her life now. I wonder where she is. I hope she's thriving. I just hope that is the case. Well, it's Woke Wednesday, and like I said, about 1 million, by now probably 1.5 million people have sent me this video. It is of a sitting state representative. Just watch this clip. I think this was in response to the horrific shooting. Nobody's trying to make fun of that, but the backlash against the trans folks elicited this. Watch this.
Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. You matter. You matter. And I am fighting for you. And I will not stop. I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow. You are loved. You matter. You belong here.
Okay, and next order of business, the representative from District 4. What do you do with that sort of stuff? Clearly, get that lady some help. Also, the fact that she's, I'm fighting for you. That's the fight. I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be okay. It's going to be easy peasy from here on out. Rhetorically speaking, by the way, of course, if that lady's the one making arguments on behalf of the trans folks, I think we're going to be okay on this one. Who who thinks that's a good idea, but at the same time, you're not talking to rational people who think about things rationally. You're instead talking to crazy lunatics who think that making a loud and aggressive, I don't even want to call that a speech, chant and a microphone is actually making a difference. Your anger is not an argument, libs. The sooner you learn that, the better off you're going to be. Not that I want you to be better off, but anger isn't an argument, bottom line. Case in point. Speaking of angry, this young lady, and by young lady, I mean they, them. I don't know what gender this is. I mean, I do, but I don't want to presume to know what they know because they might not have said so. This young lady is mad at rent, and this Woke Wednesday. Oh, dang, we're not going to have a ton of time to respond to this, but watch this. This is how some people think, and they are outside of their minds.
Rent should not exist. In this day and age, rent should not exist. We have a surplus of housing. We have houses that are empty. We could be housing everyone on the streets, but no, we have to worry about profiting off of it. Shut the up. Shut the up. People are homeless, dying on the streets. What is wrong with you? What the is wrong with you? We have a surplus of housing. We're in a complete different age from when you did have to build your own house. Everyone deserves a house, and our government has the ability to give us that, and they won't. You need to be more angry.
Okay, first things first, before we get into any of the housing stuff, it's funny because a little peek behind the curtain here, these videos aren't uncensored when we are playing them here, and then they get bleeped after the fact. And so anytime there's an F-bomb dropped, you see producer Glenn off camera going, okay, there's one. Okay, there's one. Okay, there's one. Because for some reason, all the libs do is think if they swear more, it'll make their argument more compelling, which is not the case. But I guess they believe that. And then to actually respond to what you're saying, you're right. Okay, so houses just grow from the ground. We got a lot of rain this year. A lot of houses sprouted up, a surplus of houses. No, somebody had to sacrifice or risk their capital in order to build that house. Prying it away from someone who worked hard and sacrificed to build that house seems not very nice. That doesn't seem very loving to me, young woman. Houses don't grow on trees. People sweat, blood, and tears build houses along with everything else. You don't just get to commandeer it because you're angry. Ugh. That's going to do it for us here at Turning Point tonight. Love the outro there. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Charlie Kirk is going to take us out. God bless America.
Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my story. I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta or brittle bone disease. I have broken my bones almost 200 times, and I have had 11 surgeries. But I didn't let that stop me. I love to bike ride, climb, race, and I'm learning how to stand and walk. But I can only do all of this because of generous people like you and Shriners Hospitals for Children.
And for the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to millions of kids. But it's only possible because of people like you.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is only able to provide this world-class, life-changing medical care because of the generous gifts of people just like you.
Because of you, I can ride my bike. I can play basketball. Because of people like you, I can play the trombone. I can smile.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
When you go online to loveshriners.org, you'll help make all of this possible for kids like me. Like me. Like me.
When you say yes to giving just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a reminder of all the kids you're helping every day.
Your gift, no matter how small, can help a child today.
This is your moment to make a difference.
When you pick up your phone, I know you have it right there, and call to give. You're helping kids like me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, please call again or give right away at loveshriners.org.
Your gift makes a difference. Thank you for giving.
There's nothing worse than losing your dog before their time.
That's why I created Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, designed to help dogs with everything from digestive issues to itching, even moving better.
Nature's Blend works because it's freeze-dried. So instead of destroying the nutrients with high heat, they all get right into your dog's body.
Take it from a veterinarian with over 50 years of experience saving dogs' lives. I have never seen a food make this much impact on a dog's health.
For a limited time, get up to 54% off Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, plus a free gift with our special TV offer. Call or go to drmartypets.com/TV.
Foreign chemical companies are launching a coordinated campaign right now to secure sweeping legal immunity for chemical products in the United States. This legislation is going to prevent Americans from holding companies accountable, the chemical companies accountable, for health damages, by the way, of over 57,000 chemicals. This is exactly, if you remember, what we did when it comes to vaccines. We gave the vaccine companies immunity, right? So parents couldn't sue them. We are now about to do this with chemical companies in the United States. If we do not all start calling our congressmen and congresswomen and saying enough is enough, we do not support this, you better not support this. So
what would the argument for that even be? Is that it's indemnification for foreign chemical companies?
Yes. So this should concern you. This is really a super scary foreign policy issue. So Bayer,
which is a German company.
They are on the hook right now currently. This is why they're pushing this so hard. They are currently on the hook for $16 billion in settlements for glyphosate cancer litigation.
Roundup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is being sprayed on all of our food.
I know 3 people that died because of brain cancer from Roundup, at least 3. I'm sure almost everyone in this room does.
They are losing court cases because of the overwhelming evidence that glyphosate is connected to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
That's true.
So they know this. So they're like, we don't want people to be able to sue us anymore because we know we're making people sick. We want to be able to keep making people sick. You have paraquat. Paraquat is another chemical we don't talk about a lot. We hear a lot about glyphosate in the Maha circles, but you need to know about paraquat. Paraquat is another chemical manufactured by ChemChina. So this is tightly connected to Parkinson's disease. And it is a pesticide that is actually banned in China, but we're allowing it to be sprayed on our crops for Americans to eat. And they sell it to us, and now they want legal immunity when we get Parkinson's from their product. You should be very concerned if you live near or on a golf course. I'm just going to tell you that right now. They are doing this through federal legislation, state bills, EPA rule changes, and Supreme Court intervention. And they're aiming to shield themselves from responsibility when they cause harm to Americans that are consuming products and farmers also in their communities. So what's really scary is that this legislation is already passed now in North Dakota this year and Georgia. So if you live in Georgia or North Dakota, those states, it is now basically impossible to sue chemical manufacturers if you get sick from chemical exposure. Next, Congress has added an immunity shield into their House appropriations bill. It's called Section 453. Now, this is why you should be especially pissed off. We just won, Charlie just admitted, we largely just won the election due to Maha and all of the activism that we're doing there. And it is Republicans who are pushing for this. It is not the Democrats. So it is Republicans in Congress that are totally turning their back on us as Maha voters, on the Maha moms. And we need to say that we do not stand for this, that we have midterms coming up. This is a very, very, very scary thing that we are flirting with right before midterms. You are rocking a boat you don't want to rock.
So their argument must be, if I were to steel man it, that if we don't indemnify it, then we won't be able to spray anything because we'll be sued by everybody. Is that right? I mean, again, so it's like, wait, so we're going to poison a lot of people and not, it's like a car company being like, well, you can't sue us if the airbag doesn't work. And what kind of crazy thing? I mean, is that what we're talking? We're talking about indemnification, basically.
They literally are, like I said, they are on the line right now for billions and billions and billions in lawsuits, and they're just trying to get ahead of it so that they don't have to pay
Why
it
would
out.
Republicans, other than being bought and paid for?
That's it. It's just
Is this
lobbyists.
a big ag thing, though? Is there like a
Yes.
connect? Okay, so that's where we're getting. So a big ag, they love glyphosate. By the way, I talked to some people. I get so many angry emails from people that are like, glyphosate's the greatest thing ever. It's amazing. Like, you don't understand what you're talking about. What is the pro-glyphosate argument? What would they,
that we need to feed the world. We have to be able to feed the world.
Right.
And
we kill all the bugs this way.
Yes.
Got it.
Which is just not true. There are other ways to do this. Now, I'm not saying, because I know that a lot of our friends in the ag community who are doing conventional farming get very upset when we talk about this because they're like,
very upset.
You have no idea what you're talking about. You could never do this overnight. Totally correct. Totally correct. You could not do this overnight. It is a whole process, slow rollout that we would have to do. But the point is not that we're going to ban these chemicals or anything. Nobody's even talking about that. All we're saying is that American consumers, farmers, communities should be able to sue them if they make you sick.
Well, just yeah, go ahead.
This interferes with states' ability to protect their residents by overriding stronger state-level consumer protection and tort laws.
100%. I just want to interrupt, just so everyone understands. Forget the Maha component of this. This is crony capitalism at its finest. This is a big company that doesn't want to be able to be held accountable. I mean, every time we indemnify an industry, really bad behavior usually follows, almost always.
You have to be upset about this, not just because, they're poisoning us and we won't be able to sue them. What I'm trying to get at is, yes, obviously that's extremely important. But also, when we are thinking in terms of politics in midterms, is that this is in the news right now, and all of those women that I just told you came up to me at our Turning Point events and said I would not be here if it weren't for Maha. I'm trying to figure out if I want to identify as conservative, are seeing this in the news that we are flirting with the idea of a chemical shield for these companies, and they're going, so is everything just a lie? Is everything Donald Trump told me a lie? Is everything that congressional Republicans told me they were going to do for Maha a lie? I don't know that I want to keep voting for this. And so I am trying to get us out there to say, for those that are, those of us that are grandfathered into the GOP, right? Like we are a part of this party. We need to be saying that this isn't okay and letting our congressional Republicans know. So
I agree.
You have to call your congressman or congresswoman off the hook right now and tell them to vote no on the appropriations bill as long as Section 453 is in it. So we're telling them to take out Section 453 in the appropriations bill. You're doing this nonstop every single day. You're calling them daily. They're going to know who you are. They're going to know your favorite order at your favorite restaurant. That's how much you call. Okay. And then if you don't want to do that, you can just go to stoppoison.org. You'll get legislation updates and instructions on how to call both federal and local state legislators.
But even if it was, think about this, everybody. So even if it wasn't poison, which it obviously is, but we're not banning it. We're just saying that you're not shielded from lawsuits.
Exactly.
Okay.
So everyone should be on board with this, and everyone needs to be making a big fuss on social media about this, so that President Trump sees it and sees that this is important to us.
So I love that. And so in closing here, Alex, I want to go to two things. Just can you repeat the website one more time, because this is going to be airing out to millions of people.
Yeah.
Stoppoison.org.
Stoppoison.org.
Charlie Kirk Show starts now.
President Trump is willing to go on offense in ways that others have not been, and to send that clear signal to Tren de Aragua, Cartel del Sols, and others emanating from Venezuela. You want to try to traffic drugs? It's a new day. It's a different day.
Chicago did experience a particularly brutal Labor Day weekend. Police say 56 people were shot, 7 were killed.
Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets.
This is a part of his plan to do something really nefarious, which is to interfere with elections in 2026. He wants to have troops on the ground to stop people from voting, to intimidate people from going to the voting booth.
And you have this governor, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the two worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection, we don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed.
Shootings will continue as long as this presidential administration continues to put politics over people.
According to online records, Livingston's history of random acts of violence against women goes back 8 years. In 2017, he was accused of randomly attacking 2 women months apart. Both cases were dropped. In 2022, Livingston was sentenced to 5 years in prison after prosecutors said he punched and attempted to rob 4 women within 20 minutes in the Loop. And yet, just 14 months later, in 2023, while on parole, Livingston was arrested for hitting a woman in the face on North Michigan Avenue. And in 2024, he was sentenced to 100 days in prison after punching a 15-year-old girl.
They are law-abiding individuals who pay taxes and contribute to the communities who feel safe going to work and attending mandatory immigration check-ins. In other words, they're following the law. We have reason to believe that Stephen Miller chose the month of September to come to Chicago because of celebrations around Mexican Independence Day that happen here every year.
Garcia has said he doesn't want to go back home to El Salvador. That's what he said. So we're honoring that request by providing him with an alternate place to live. We're not a travel booking agency. It's not our job to say to illegal alien terrorists, pick your favorite destination in the world and we'll send you a charter jet there.
If you or someone you love aren't sure what resources exist for immigrants in our state, I want you to go to IllinoisImmigrationInfo.org. On the front page, there's a red button that says Learn Your Rights. Also on that front page is a red button that says Get Legal Help. If you or someone you know needs an immigration lawyer, this page has resources for finding representation.
Some whack job put in a lawsuit. It went before a very liberal court, and the liberal court ruled, it was 11, they ruled 7-4, with one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give tremendous credit to that judge. And now it's going to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to be asking for early admittance. We're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because we need an early decision. I mean, look, it's a very important decision, and frankly, if they make the wrong decision, it'll be a devastation for our country.
As your next mayor of this city, yes, I will freeze the rent for more than 250,000 rent-stabilized apartments.
Last week, I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape.
Yikes. Leaky refrigerator coil card.
Oh no.
But your future is bright with an American Home Shield warranty to protect your covered home system. Don't worry, be warranty.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, we get you printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and in bookstores across the country. We'll even help you promote your book. That's right, we do all this for you. Biography, self-help, mystery, novels, sci-fi, even a children's book. No matter what genre, Page Publishing can bring your book to life. Call today for your free author submission kit and find out how you can be the next published author at Page Publishing.
Call for your free writer's guide, 800-319-0257. That's 800-319-0257, 800-319-0257, or scan the QR code now.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath & Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie-cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Every day, there's a battle for your mind raging. Information coming from every angle with the will to deceive. Fear not. You found the place for truth, the voice of a generation that still has the will to believe in the greatest country in the history of the world. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
Okay, everybody, radio stations across the country, honored to be with you as always. You can email us, freedom@charliekirk.com. We are here in the Bitcoin.com studio. We had an amazing event last night in Visalia, California. It's right in the Central Valley there. That is where you get your pistachios from, your almonds from, some of your tomatoes, some of your citrus. We had 2,700 people. It was a paid ticketing event for Tulare Right to Life. And they did a phenomenal job. They could have had another 1,000 people. Isabel Brown was there. It was just a very special evening. Just being around the grassroots, the support is greater than ever. And watch the Charlie Kirk Show. They listen to the podcast. They see what we're doing. So thank you guys, and God bless you. It was an amazing event. We're going to play some pieces of tape there. You'll see right there, that's 2,700 people there last evening in Visalia, California. It just felt great being back out as we prepare for yet another ambitious campus tour. I am going to an undisclosed location, to a nation that I will not tell you tonight. In fact, I'm going to really set Twitter ablaze tonight. I'm going to tweet out, I'm going to a foreign nation 14 hours away. What country do you think it is? You're going to see, it's just going to be a fun tweet. We're going to do that. But speaking of foreign nations, yesterday, something really important happened. And all the headlines are focused on the optics and the aesthetics and the visuals, which is fine, but it's deeper than that. Yesterday was the 80-year anniversary of Victory Day, or essentially the founding of the Chinese Communist Party. The visuals were obviously impressive. Look, totalitarian countries, they do military parades quite well. They're able to mobilize everything without any of the media clamoring or yammering, and it was impressive. From the nuclear arsenal to their investments in the military, the Chinese Communist Party wanted to put on full display for the rest of the world, and especially it really was all designed for an audience of one. The military parade was really designed for one person, and that person, of course, is President Donald Trump. The Chinese were doing, as you can see, propaganda of their bombers and of their aircraft. They're investing billions and billions of dollars in their military. Now, their military is still a fraction of our entire military investment. It's still about $200 to $300 billion a year. However, you have to wonder, even though they spend a fraction that we do, they probably don't have the bloat and the waste and the government contractors that we do. You have to wonder if they're able to spread that a little bit more than we do. We waste a ton of money on our military, a ton of money on Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. However, I think there is definitely still an admission from independent analysts that we have military weaponry and technology that they still do not have. We pay soldiers a ton of money. They do not. They're able to draft anyone they want. They're a country of 770 million able-bodied people and a country of well over 1 billion individuals. They have hypersonic missiles. We may be behind on some weapons. They might have hypersonic missiles that we don't have, by the way. I'm putting these visuals up on screen here because we have focused on a lot of different topics, mass migration, the Islamism rising in the West. But I think what yesterday should be a reminder is a little bit of a early fall wake-up call. We already know that the Chinese Communist Party is a great threat to us. But me even saying that is important. Let's ask the very simple question. What is China? Is China our friend? Are they a rival like Joe Biden called them? Are they an adversary? I think they're an enemy of the United States of America. I've said it once and I'll say it again. They have internationalist ambitions. They want to expand their territory. Now, does that mean I believe that we should go to a kinetic conflict against them? Of course not. But we need to start treating them, at the very least, like a serious rival, at the very least. The Chinese Communist Party just threw an inside fastball. That was a brushback pitch yesterday. And not only did they have that, they brought Vladimir Putin, they brought Kim Jong-un, they brought a lot of the other tyrannical autocrats from the region in a massive show of force. Oh, there's the vice president of China. I actually met that guy. We should get that picture. It was one of the funniest stories. I think I told the vice president of China story once, and I think I told it on Thought Crime. I met him at the inauguration. I went up and asked for a picture, and then I think they tapped my phone. This is a much tougher rivalry than the Cold War, and we just got to be honest about it. The Soviet Union was hobbled by a terrible, terrible economy. You see, the Soviet Union, they were pure ideologues. They really were. The Soviet Union had a council of actual Marxists that refused to ever embrace market principles. They were actual ideologues. The Chinese economic model is a lot different. It's far more pragmatic. They're basically what works, what makes us rich. If we have to liberalize some areas, we will. But if we have to be totalitarian in other ways, we'll also do that. The Chinese Communist Party's economy is still not as big as ours. Still not. The latest GDP numbers show the Chinese Communist Party's maybe around $18 to $20 trillion. We're around $27 to $28 trillion. We owe a lot more money, by the way. Our national debt is way above the Chinese Communist Party national debt. Remember, the USSR was a multi-ethnic mess, which is why it collapsed. China is overwhelmingly Chinese. They have some Uyghur Muslim problems, and they mistreat them, but they're largely off in the rural areas. And China is very nationalist, and China is in a moment. You have to look at where is the moment in empire. And next year we celebrate our 250th anniversary, our 250th birthday as a nation. Well, since we're celebrating our 250th birthday, that's about as long as empires last. It's about the expiration date. The Chinese Communist Party is at year 80. I want you to think about where we were in year 80. Year 80, we were fighting a civil war. Year 80, we were still trying to find our national identity. Once we got through the Civil War, we then had basically an uninterrupted rise to a superpower with, Industrial Revolution, World War II, but we did not have serious existential threats to the homeland post-Civil War. Once we got through that Civil War right around our 80th birthday, approximation, then we were able to basically have a glide pattern up towards being the superpower of the 19th century, late 19th century, 20th century, and of course now the 21st century. Those two oceans in Canada and Mexico being next to us are quite helpful. And of course we've made mistakes, we've slipped in some ways, but we are still the world superpower, and we still have this window of opportunity. We still have this window where we have a great president, we have a mandate, we have a nationalistic undercurrent in our country where we need to have a very serious moment and say, what exactly is China? Why are we not treating them in the way we should be? Or maybe we should not be treating them that way. President Donald Trump had some very harsh words for the Chinese Communist Party today. He said, I was not happy in many ways. He said, I was not happy with what I saw, and I know it was for me. I was very impressed, but I was not pleased by Xi Jinping's comments. He had some very harsh words today. President Trump is rebuilding our military, but you have to wonder, for every $1 that we spend in our military, I would just conjecture the Chinese Communist Party is able to probably spend like 25 cents. I bet they get way more bang for their buck on military spending than we do. And we can't always see this in terms of money. That's a very important thing. This is about who is going to win and own the 21st century. We need to see this in terms of real strength. Are we innovative? Are we merit-based? Are we entrepreneurial? Are we unified? Are we strong? Are we aspirational? Forget all the economic data. Right now, yes, we have the incumbent advantage. Can we make stuff? It takes, just for example, we're doing this construction project at Turning Point USA to install a gate. And it is the most bureaucratic. It's taken literally like a year and a half to install a very simple gate. And I turned to my team the other day outside of this whole Victory Day parade. I said, in China, this would take like a week. In China, this would just take a week. You just wave a hand and you get it done. Now, in some ways, it's bad. It would probably not be up to code or whatever. But they're able to source rare earth minerals. They're able to build new factories. They're able to roll out new robots. We increasingly have difficulty doing those things. Now, I'm not painting a doomerist picture. There's a lot of advantages we have over the Chinese Communist Party. But I got to be honest, when I went to a national park over the weekend, Sedona. It's actually not a national park, national forest. And there was products sold by the U.S. government. This drove me nuts. And this is not a criticism of President Trump. He inherited it from Joe Biden, but we got to fix it. The Department of Interior is selling merchandise made in China. Our own U.S. government is selling merchandise that is made in China. We don't make stuff anymore, but we should. We'll talk more in the break. I want you to email me, freedom@charliekirk.com. What is China? Friend, adversary, enemy, rival, competitor? GoodRanchers.com. By the time the show ends, another American family farm will shut down. And that's why I get all my meat from GoodRanchers.com. Good Ranchers doesn't just sell meat, they guide you back to the source. All Good Ranchers products are 100% born, raised, and harvested in America and from local family farms. You go to GoodRanchers.com, you get free meat for life, Wagyu burgers, hot dogs, bacon, or chicken wings. Go to GoodRanchers.com, use promo code KIRK to get your free meat for life plus $40 off. GoodRanchers.com, American meat delivered. Email us, freedom@charliekirk.com. We'll be right back, everybody.
The poverty is unimaginable. There are people who are struggling.
This is where she washes the dishes.
If you're ever going to allow your Christian faith to rise and to do something for God's chosen people, now is the time.
This is the home of Galina. She's 96 years old.
This is what she had to eat for today.
She has one pot with water and wheat.
My father was killed by the Nazis, and I was an orphan. I didn't know about God. But now, in the cold, hungry nights, I pray for food to the God I've never known. There are good people that love you.
You see the tears. Scripture says joy can come in the morning, and you can be the reason.
If you will bless these hurting children of Israel, you will receive God's blessing in return. Your urgent gift today of $25 will help rush a survival food box filled with life-saving essentials. If you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives. Call, scan, or go online now.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I don't know how much longer she could have waited for us to come.
I can't even grow my food anymore. What will happen to me? I'm doomed to starve.
Tens of thousands of elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union are living in extreme poverty, hungry, and forgotten. But through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we can bring them hope.
Eggs. It's my favorite food. May you be blessed.
You say to them, we see you and we're here to help.
If you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives.
This right here is confidence in a bottle. It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 1-800-854-0295.
Fact first. America first. Welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. Let me tell you guys about YRefi. YRefi is one of our great partners here. You can go to YRefi.com. That is YREFY.com. If you are in private student loan debt, YRefi can get you guys out of debt today. That is YREFY.com. Private student loan debt in the United States totals about $300 billion. They provide you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. If you go to YRefi.com, you can read testimonials from other people who have been where you are and how they have successfully escaped. Bad credit is accepted. You can even skip a payment every 6 months up to 12 times without penalty. Just call 888-YREFI34 or log on to YRefi.com. That is YREFY.com. You do not have to ignore that mountain of student loan statements on your kitchen table anymore. Go to YREFY.com. That is YRefi.com. I guarantee you somebody in this audience has a niece, a nephew, a friend, a family member that is suffering under privately held student loan debt. Get out of privately held student loan debt today at YRefi.com. That is yrefy.com. Email us as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. We'll be right back. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Email us as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. In order for us to keep talking about China, it's very important that all of you in the audience know the name and the book. First, Francis Fukuyama, and the book, The End of History and the Last Man. It was published in 1992. Remember the context of when this book was published. This book was published right after the fall of the Soviet Union. This was peak neoliberal arrogance. This was about the crescendo of the ruling class of the West that believed that this was the end of all human government, that liberal democracy had emerged as literally the final form of human government. The claim wasn't that history literally ends, but that the ideological evolution has reached its endpoint. No rival system at the time in 1992 seemed capable of challenging liberal democracy in legitimacy or performance. We assumed the American way had won forever. And I was raised in this context. I was told by teachers, I was told by professionals, Charlie, the more that we trade with China, soon they're going to be wearing Levi jeans and having McDonald's in Tiananmen Square, and they'll be listening on their iPods. And once they do that, they're going to embrace free speech, they're going to embrace American values, and they will de-radicalize and decouple from totalitarianism. This book, The End of History and the Last Man by Francis Fukuyama, without a doubt, was one of the most important, arrogant theses of the 1990s. It set the tone for the American ruling class. Because the wall had fallen, the enemy of the Soviet Union collapsed. We did it without having to go to a kinetic war. It felt as if we did not just win a war, but we won an ideological battle. And boy, did we get cocky. Our leaders assumed anybody who came to America from China will decide America's way is better than China's, and either join our team or fight to make China be on our side. But if you really think about it, if you come here today from China, what are you likely to think? Our cities are filthy, they're murderous, they're dangerous. And as we have declined in virtue in our country, it's much harder to have liberty when you do not have virtue. When you do not have a virtuous people, when you do not have strong families, when you do not have people going to church, liberty quickly becomes license. Bill Clinton articulated this best. Bill Clinton celebrated the entrance of the Chinese Communist Party into the World Trade Organization. I want you to put up the B-roll again of the Chinese military, please. The Chinese military with their tanks and their missiles rolling through the streets. You guys paid for that. This is paid for by the U.S. citizen. This is paid for by your Beanie Babies. This is paid for by your baseballs. This is paid for by your textiles. Hey, that's paid for by your vitamin C and by your antibiotics. Bill Clinton helped design this order, but this was all because of Fukuyama's argument. This is very important. Fukuyama gave them the arrogance that if we started trading with China, we would get super rich, the economic elite would then be able to have more capital, and then China would liberalize, and the whole world would live in liberal, democratic harmony. That sounds so dumb when I say it today now in 2025, but that's exactly the context of which all these decisions were made. World Trade Organization, NAFTA, Play Cut 393.
Bringing China into the WTO is a win-win decision. It will protect our prosperity, and it will promote the right kind of change in China. It is good for our farmers, for our manufacturers, and for our investors. Encouraging China to play by international rules, I say again, is an important step toward a safer, saner world.
Now, instead of China changing, we've actually become more like China. Not in the good ways, by the way. Less free speech, more oligarchic governance, an untouchable billionaire class. We became more like them. They did not adapt. They did not liberalize. They don't have free speech. You can't challenge the government. You can't own firearms. China is more totalitarian than they were either in the 1990s. And this is where all the experts, again, which should just be completely discounted, they're like, well, you can't have economic liberty without personal liberty. Oh, yeah, you can. China's proven you can. You can own stuff and be hyper-materialistic and have no other personal freedom. You can go to the mall and shop and do stuff and still not be able to go to church. The 1990s, Francis Fukuyama, end of history, Bill Clinton, the dot-com era, we won. And instead of entering the victory with humility, we also did the 1990 Immigration Act. We opened up our borders to the entire world. And now in 2025, we are reckoning with the consequences of the cockiness of the leaders of the 1990s. So much of what we are living through is because of the arrogance and the pride of a ruling class in America that saw the wall fall in Berlin and said, we won, baby. Bring in the foreigners, import the plastic, make us rich. It's the end of history. Turns out history was just getting started. We'll be right back.
Oh. Hey, did you find the manual?
Yes, of course I found it. No, I need that.
Summon Dale!
Who's Dale?
A real human.
I'm Dale. American Home Show now provides video chat with live repair experts for home fixes over the phone. Let's go fix that oven.
Okay, Dale.
I need my phone back. Fix it over video chat with American Home Shield. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, we get you printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and bookstores. We'll even promote your book.
Call for your free writer's guide, 800-319-0257, or scan the QR code now.
Water, nature's ultimate cleaner. We drink it, we bathe in it. Think water, think steam, think clean. Now harness the power of water with the H2O X5 5-in-1 steam cleaning system.
I'm so impressed with the X5. It's an all-in-one product, so I can use it throughout my entire house.
It's cleaning, it's sanitizing, there's no chemicals in it. It's just steam.
This is unbelievable. There is no more odor.
5 minutes, I'm done. Look at that, it's amazing.
If you're ready to step into an effective, economical, and eco-safe world of cleaning, look no further than the H2O X5. Using just the power of superheated water, the X5 Super Hot Steam cleans and kills up to 99% of germs, viruses, and bacteria. You could spend over $500 to purchase the products that the X5 5-in-1 Miracle replaces. But through this special TV offer, you won't spend $400, $300, or even $200. Order your H2O X5 steam cleaning system, a $500 value, for just 4 easy payments of $43. You'll get the X5 steam mop with microfiber pad, the carpet glider, the handheld scrubber, the window glass and mirror attachment, and the garment and upholstery bonnet. It's a complete 10-piece system, all this for just 4 easy payments of $43. But it gets even better. Order now and we'll upgrade your X5 package. We'll add a 6th mode with a dusting and polishing wand. Valued at over $30, this extra bonus attachment makes your H2O X5 the H2O X6. That means your 10-piece system becomes a 12-piece system at no extra cost to you. If after 30 days you're not absolutely delighted, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. Don't wait. Now's your chance to own the X5 for just 4 easy payments, and we'll make the first payment for you. You get the X5 incredible 5-in-1 lightweight, powerful 12-piece steam cleaning system, a $500 value, all for just 3 easy payments of $43. This offer can't last forever, so call or click right now.
Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. President Trump is meeting privately right now with the president of Poland. The two are set to have lunch. They just hosted the media in the Oval Office as both of them answered questions, some domestic, some on foreign policy. Here's our Brian Glenn asking the president about California.
Mr. President, in regards to Gavin Newsom, would you be open to a congressional investigation
in regards to the specific Palisades fire where it killed 12 seniors, to see if there's any negligence on Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass in regards to those deaths.
Well, I'll tell you, there's negligence on not getting people permits. That is negligent. We got all of the federal permits, Lee Zeldin. The federal permits are much more difficult. They were all gotten within 30 days. People could go build their houses. It's going to be years before they are allowed to build their house. And Karen Bass is grossly incompetent. And Newsom, this is a very incompetent guy. I watched him with the hands. I'm saying, what's going on with the hands? There's something wrong with him. You watch him. There's something wrong with this guy. But more importantly, he didn't allow the water to come from the Pacific Northwest. You know, they have tremendous amounts of water in California. People don't know. They send the water out to the Pacific Ocean. So I demanded it be open. If that were open during the fire, before the fire, you wouldn't have had the fire because all the sprinklers would have worked in the houses. They had no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants. You wouldn't have had the fires. It would have been put out after one house, two houses. But he stopped the water from coming in. And I had to send in the military to have that water opened after the fires. And now they have water, but he should have more because they still restricted. There's something wrong with these people. There's something really wrong. As to investigation, I view it as a gross incompetence. I view it as an ideology that's wrong. It's a radical left ideology. And if I didn't win this election, I think our country would be destroyed. I don't believe you'd be here right now, and our country would be destroyed.
President Trump sit down with his Polish counterpart throughout the day. In the meantime, let's get you back to the Charlie Kirk Show.
Patriots love him, leftists hate him. Nobody ignores him. It's the Charlie Kirk Show.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. Email us, as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. I want to tell you guys about TikTokeconomicimpact.com. That is TikTokeconomicimpact.com. TikTok has helped U.S. businesses contribute over $24 billion to the U.S. economy. That's real money flowing into small businesses. TikTok is helping small businesses thrive, and that is adding up. I used to be a TikTok skeptic, and people, you know, they have feedback or whatever. I got billions and billions of views that we reached on TikTok. It's really amazing. Let's play this one right here of this video. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This one got like tens of millions of views. Let's play cut 266.
Are you actually going to let me talk for longer than 5 seconds?
Go ahead.
You keep interrupting me. Every time I try to actually explain my point and have a reasonable conversation with you, you cut me off. I was trying to explain, you cut me off, started talking about something completely different. You started bringing up random stats and random facts to try to make me look stupid.
And she said I was interrupting her. Well, she had 30 seconds uninterrupted. Go to TikTokeconomicimpact.com. That's TikTokeconomicimpact.com. Joining us now is a great friend, an amazing person, Senator Mike Lee from the wonderful state of Utah. Senator Lee, great to see you. Senator, I am going to Utah next week, a week from today, at the wonderful Utah Valley State University. All are welcome. You guys can get your tickets at AmericanComebackTour.com. Senator Lee, this is already making a lot of headlines. People are very angry. They're calling for my cancellation. They think our permit should be pulled. This is a greater response than when I go to Berkeley. Senator Lee, what is going on in the beautiful state of Utah?
Well, first of all, Charlie, I want to thank you for the work that you're doing on campuses across the country and for your interest in visiting Utah next week. You're giving students everywhere the chance to hear perspectives that they often wouldn't otherwise get. You've been on the front lines defending free speech, especially where it's been most under pressure, as it has been on college campuses all over the country. And I'm so glad that you're bringing that fight to Utah State University and Utah Valley University next week. Look, free speech shouldn't stop at the campus gates. If anything, we should have a heightened degree of attention and focus a heightened degree of protectiveness around free speech on campuses, because the learning environment necessarily requires open, honest conversations where different viewpoints are examined. Our students deserve open discussion and vigorous debate, and not just the same sanitized, woke version that so many college administrators and faculty members seem to prefer and seem to demand exclusively. Look, Utahns believe in open debate and free exchange of ideas. What you're doing helps to ensure students get that experience. Because if students can't handle diverse ideas in college, how are they ever going to handle that in real life? So look, I hope and expect that your visit to Utah will be productive, that you will be able to speak, that you're not going to exclude you. And I anticipate that once you're there, a lot of the naysayers, a lot of those people trying to exclude you, are going to see some real utility behind your visit there. Who knows why they decide to start these things, but each time they start them, and then you show up and do what you do best, people were enlightened as a result of it. So thank you for doing that.
Well, it's going to be fun, and I think some of these people that are getting very angry are going to be very disappointed, because I'm the same person on this program that I'm there on campus, and if you disagree, you can go to the front of the line, and we're going to have a good chat. It's AmericanComebackTour.com. Senator,
and Charlie, when you show up and they see that Monday, when you show up and they see that you right and have opposable thumbs, I think some of them are going to feel a little bit silly after the big to-do they've made of that.
No, that's well said, and thank you, Senator. Senator, I want to shift gears here to President Trump's Truth Social. He said Monday's court order in Utah is absolutely unconstitutional. How did such a wonderful Republican state like Utah, which I won every election, end up with so many radical left judges? Senator, what is going on here? Please take some time and go into some detail and explain what's happening in the great state of Utah.
Yeah, so Utah's electoral system is under attack by Democrats, and including their leftist allies in the Utah courts. About 7 years ago, there was an effort through which Utah voters passed a law through a ballot initiative creating a legislative redistricting commission. Now, in the years that followed, the Utah legislature subsequently amended that law, which it has the power to do under the Utah Constitution. In other words, you can make a law either through the legislature or through a ballot initiative. The power somewhat rarely used, but when it is used, it runs on a parallel track with laws made by the legislature. And so the legislature can subsequently amend or even repeal a law that was previously made under our state constitution through a ballot initiative. But Utah courts are now invalidating the legislature's amendments to that earlier ballot initiative and to Utah's existing congressional district maps, even though nothing in the Utah Constitution compels or even allows that result. And even though one provision in particular, Article 9 of the Utah Constitution, actually requires legislative districts, including congressional districts, to be drawn by the legislature, not by some nameless, faceless commission consisting of people who, as well-educated and well-intentioned as they might be, have never been elected by anybody and don't serve accountable to the voters of Utah. So it now appears that Utah is likely to be bound by a process involving congressional district maps being drawn not by the legislature, but by this outside commission. And although the legislature still has final authority to approve any such maps, under the court order that came out last week, that maps one way or another have to be more or less drawn by the commission, even though that constitution belongs to the legislature. Look, this is great for Utah's Democrats, who haven't controlled the Utah legislature in many, many decades. Not because Utah voters are ignorant, but because they don't like what the Democratic Party is selling and haven't for decades. That's why we have Republican supermajority margins in the Utah House and in the Senate, and why we've controlled the governor's office for decades. But now with this, they found a clever way to even the score by enlisting the help of their judicial allies. Look, this is a terrible development for the rule of law, for voters in Utah who deserve to have these decisions made in a manner consistent with the U.S. Constitution and the Utah Constitution. Now, and make no mistake, this decision, while being heralded by the left because they like it, because it's a victory, these are cheap points they're scoring, this will make the process of drawing legislative districts in Utah less accountable to the voters, not more. Because that's what happens when you take that constitutional responsibility away from elected lawmakers and you give it to someone else. It'll also result in maps that are far more generous to Democrats, and I think that's the whole point, is that they hope to pick up at least one seat, maybe two, for Democrats in Utah as a result of this. So it's kind of a judicial takeover of the political process, one that's designed by leftists to advance the electoral prospects of the Democratic Party in Utah. And it's yet another example of how these independent commissions are so often used by the left to give an unfair, unearned advantage to Democrats in red states, one that they could never otherwise secure through the electoral process.
Yeah, so this is part of a broader redistricting fight in California and Texas. Let me ask this. Why is Utah seemingly having this Democrat appeasing moderate streak? Let's just talk more broadly about Utah. You're a constitutional conservative, Senator Lee, and one of the best, if not the best, in the nation, and you have an amazing track record, and you're so good to your constituents, and you represent your voters. Why is it that in Utah, which is supposed to be this solidly red state, why give any ground at all whatsoever? What are the influences that are seeping into Utah that seem to be changing the politic there?
Perhaps first and foremost, I think we've gotten a little complacent with the fact that we've had these Republican majorities in both houses of our legislature and the governor's office and so many of our other prominent elected positions in the state. And the fact that we've had those under the Republican banner for as many decades as we have has perhaps caused many in the state to not be aware of what's going on, because you have to dig into some of these details to see what's going on when something like this happens. Then you add to that, Charlie, what happens in a state like mine, a Republican state, consistently Republican state, that has no conservative media to speak of. We've got a handful here or there. We've got a handful of great people on the radio, for example. But as far as our print media and our mainstream broadcast media, TV and radio within the state, we have no significant, large-scale conservative or even right-of-center media within Utah. It's a pretty mismatched state in terms of the political views of the constituency, the citizenry of Utah, and the disparity between that and the news media establishment. That doesn't help. But here again, just with the apathy problem or the lack of awareness problem, the more people talk about this, the more we can draw attention to it, I think we can remedy some of that defect. And I think what you're doing with your visit to Utah next week, which I applaud, helps to shed light on these things and helps to raise awareness of what's actually happening.
Senator, in closing here, about a minute remaining, I want you to comment on the CDC situation. Senate Republicans express alarm over CDC directors firing. Can't imagine that you share that view, but if you do, I'd love to hear because I trust your opinion. What is your opinion what's happening at the CDC right now?
Look, my copy of the Constitution says that the executive power of the U.S. government is vested in the president. Now, for that to mean anything, for the Constitution to hold up, for the separation of powers generally to be respected, including this, the element of separation of powers that's found within Article 2, which governs the executive branch and the president, for those things to mean anything, the president, as the head of the executive branch, necessarily must have the authority to hire and fire subordinates. Now, some of those subordinate officers require Senate confirmation when he hires them, but there's no comparable restriction on congressional authorization to fire them, nor should there be. Now, by statute, we have, Congress has over time, unwisely, and I believe unconstitutionally, limited the president's firing authority to these for-cause circumstances or through career civil servant protection or otherwise. And that's wrong. The executive power is lodged in the president. It needs to stay there. And if CDC director or HHS bureaucrat
Senator
can ignore
Mike
the
Lee.
president, they have to be held accountable by the president.
Thank you so much, Senator Lee. See you soon. Be right back.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real, it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And I did this to my father. We were at home. So we applied it to his under eye bags. And let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view. And now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm. Please send me more." And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. The way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger. This is it.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 1-800-854-0295.
Keep the truth. No one else has the guts to say. The Charlie Kirk Show.
Okay, everybody, email us as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. Let's play cut 53, please. You guys know how it works. Open mic. We're going to be here for a couple hours, so get comfortable. So you would get rid of all borders. Yes. What species is the baby in the womb?
It's a human, but
therefore they should have human rights.
No!
He's a liar. You're a typical leftist because you only care about yourself, not about the other people. It's very clear by how you're acting. What can I do to save the country? You answer that question every single day. You are doing something that is bigger than you.
A lot of people. How are we doing?
I'm on the move like a runaway. No turning back, I pick up the pace. I do not care what the others say. Listen, I told you that I did not come to play. We about to take it to higher heights. History's waiting when I arrive. Today is a dawn of a new, and I'm about to show them that they cannot hold me down. When you win, then you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is yours, so what will you choose? If you give it your all, you got nothing to lose.
We'll be right back. Oh, we still have a minute? Then we'll play the AmFest promo too. Let's play cut 54.
America Fest is the starting point for us to take America to greater heights in 2025. We have a team that is ready to change the world and bring America back to greatness.
Experience the greatest celebration of America. 4 days, thousands of patriots, the loudest voices, the strongest leaders, featuring Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, Jesse Waters, Greg Gutfeld, Grant Cardone, Rob Schneider, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Glenn Beck, Riley Gaines, Todd Chrisley, Savannah Chrisley, and more. December 18th to 21st in Phoenix, Arizona. The movement meets here. You won't want to miss this. Register now at amfest.com.
Okay, everybody, we're here at the Bitcoin.com studio. That is the Bitcoin.com studio. So it's been say a week or two, probably, since we've covered the Epstein situation. We were covering a lot of other stories. And the media, they were waiting for this. You see, Congress, they brought in a lot of the Epstein victims, and it's undoubtedly terrible what Epstein did to the underage high school girls and groomed them and sexually abused them. They're bringing in all of these Epstein victims. Interestingly, one of them is a man, so that's breaking news, at least to me. I don't quite know all the details surrounding that. And the NBC News thought they had their moment. It is the media, they want nothing more than to be able to tie this to Donald Trump. They bring all of these Epstein victims, one after the other, and they have their big moment. The media is just waiting for a metaphorical kill shot on Donald Trump. Amazingly, of all the questions they could ask, this is the one. But in some ways, I'm kind of glad they asked it. In kind of a sick and twisted way, I'm glad they did. I'm glad they were able to air it out, because this was a swing and a miss and a media loss right here. And this kind of goes to show that there's a lot of misinformation and half-truths that are circulating around this entire thing, especially in the proximity of President Trump, especially. And so President Donald Trump has been thrown in to all of this unnecessarily. So here it is, NBC News, ready to go. Try to get Donald Trump. We got him dead to rights. We got the panel. We got them all lined up. This is going to be it. The NBC producers, they're waiting and they're waiting. We're going to have our moment. We're going to play cut 400.
I do have to ask, and I know, and it's just something that I think we're compelled to at this moment, with the attention on President Trump, with these questions around a pardon, did anybody see or hear of the president himself doing anything inappropriate as it related to